Act 1 of If I Had a Father by George MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org.
Arthur Gervaise, read by TriciaG.
Colonel Gervaise, read by Laurie Wilson.
Warren, read by Leanne Yau.
Constance, read by Hannah Mary.
Waterfield, read by Son of the Exiles.
Mrs. Clifford, read by Beth Thomas.
James, read by alanmapstoneMattie.
Mattie, read by Devorah Allen.
Susan, read by Sonia.
Thomas, read by Phil Benson.
Bill, read by Tomas Peter.
Jack, read by T.J. Burns.
Jim, read by Jasmin SalmaPoliceman.
Policeman, read by Craig Franklin.
First Boy, read by Philip Gould.
Second Boy, read by Adriana
SacciottoThird Boy, read by Eva Davis.
Stage Directions, read by Raj. If I Had a Father, a drama. Act 1, Scene. A sculptor's studio, Arthur Gervaise working at a clay figure and humming a tune. A knock.
Come in.
Throws a wet cloth over the clay. Enter Warren by the door communicating with the house.
Ah, Warren, how do you do?
How are you, Gervaise? I'm delighted to see you once more. I have but just heard of your return.
I've been home but a fortnight. I was just thinking of you.
I was certain I should find you at work.
You see, my work can go on by any light. It is more independent than yours.
I wish it weren't, then.
Why?
Because there would be a chance of our getting you out of your den sometimes.
Like any other wild beast when dark falls, eh?
Just so.
And where the good?
Why shouldn't you roar a little now and then, like other honest lions?
I doubt if the roaring lions do much beyond roaring.
And I doubt whether the lion that won't even whisk his tail will get food enough shoved through his bars to make it worth his while to keep a cage in London.
I certainly shall not make use of myself to recommend my work.
What is it now?
Well, nothing. Only a little fancy of my own.
There again. The moment I set foot in your study, you throw the sheet over your clay. And when I ask you what you are working at, oh, a little fancy of my own.
I couldn't tell it was you coming.
Let me see what you've been doing, then.
Oh, she's a mere Lot's wife as yet.
Warren approaching the figure.
Of course. I understand all that.
Gervaise laying his hand on his arm.
Excuse me, I'd rather not show it.
I beg your pardon. I couldn't believe you really meant it.
I'll show you the mold if you like.
I don't know what you mean by that. You would never throw a wet sheet over a cast.
Gervaise lifts a painting from the floor and sets it on an easel. Warren regards it for a few moments in silence.
Oh, by Jove, Gervaise. Someone sent you down the wrong turn. You ought to have been a painter. What a sky, and what a sea! Those blues and greens, rich as a peacock's feather eyes. Superb. A tropical night. The dolphin at its last gasp in the west, and all above an abyss of blue, at the bottom of which the stars lie like gems in the mine shaft of the darkness.
You seem to have taken the wrong turn, Warren. You ought to have been a poet.
Such a thing as that puts the slang out of a fellow's bend.
I'm glad you like it. I do myself, though it falls short of my intent, sadly enough.
But I don't for the life of me see what this has to do with that. You said something about a mould.
I will tell you what I meant. Every individual aspect of nature looks to me as if about to give birth to a human form, embodying that of which itself only dreams. In this way, landscape painting is, in my eyes, the mother of sculpture. That Apollo is of the summer dawn, that Aphrodite of the moonlit sea, this picture represents the mother of my psyche.
Under the sheet there?
Yes. You shall see her some day, but to show your work too soon is to uncork your champagne before dinner.
Well, you've spoiled my picture. I shall go home and scrape my canvas to the bone.
On second thoughts, I will show you my psyche.
Uncovers the clay. Warren stands in admiration. Enter Waterfield by same door.
Now, Warren, here you are before me. Mr. Gervais, I hope I see you well.
Mr. Waterfield, an old friend of yours, Gervais, I believe.
I cannot appropriate the honour.
I was twice in your studio at Rome, but it's 6 months ago, Mr. Gervais. Ah.
Using his eyeglass.
What a charming figure. A Psyche. Wings suggested by. Very skilful. Contour lovely. Altogether antique in pose and expression. Is she a commission?
No.
Then I beg you will consider her one.
Excuse me, I never work on commission. At least, never in this kind. A bust or two I have done.
By Jove, I should like to see your model. This is perfect. Are you going to carve her?
Possibly.
Uncommissioned?
If at all.
Well, I can't call it running any risk. What lines! You will let me drop in some day when you've got your model here?
Impossible.
You don't mean?
I had no model.
No model? You must excuse me.
Gervais takes up the wet sheet.
I understand. Reasons. A little mystery enhances, eh? Is convenient, too. Balks intrusion. Throws the drapery over the mignonette. I understand.
Gervais covers the clay.
Oh, pray don't carry out my figure. That is a damper now.
I am not fond of acting the showman. You must excuse me. I am busy.
Oh, well, some other time. When you've got on with her a bit. Good morning. Ta-ta, Warren.
Good morning. This way, if you please.
Shows him out by the door to the street.
How did the fellow find his way here?
I am the culprit, I'm sorry to say. He asked me for your address, and I gave it him.
How long have you known him?
A month or two.
Don't bring him here again.
Don't say I brought him. I didn't do that. But I'm afraid you've not seen the last of him.
Oh, yes, I have. Old Martha would let in anybody, but I've got a man now. William!
Enter Colonel Gervaise, dressed as a servant.
You didn't see that gentleman just gone, I'm afraid, William?
No, sir.
Don't let in anyone calling himself Waterfield.
No, sir.
I'm going out with Mr. Warren. I shall be back shortly.
Very well, sir.
Exit into the house. Gervais to Warren.
I can't touch clay again till I get that fellow out of my head.
Come along, then.
Exeunt Gervais and Warren. Re-enter Colonel Gervais, polishing a boot. Regards it with dissatisfaction.
Ah, confound the thing. I wish it were a scabbard. When I think I'm getting it all right, one rub more and it's gone dull again.
The house door opens slowly, and Thomas peeps cautiously in.
What sort of a place be this, Maester?
You ought to have asked that outside. How did you get in?
By th' door hole. If you leave th' door open, th' dogs'll come in.
I must speak to Martha again. She will leave the street door open. Well, you needn't look so frightened. It ain't a robber's cave.
That be more than I know. Not for sartin, sure, Maester. Nobody mun count on nobody up to London, they tells me. But if a gentleman axes me into his house, I'm noan bound to be afeard. I'll come in for me hap you can help me. It be a chorus place. What done you mak here?
What would you think now?
It looks to more like a mason's shed, a great one.
You're not so far wrong.
Thomas advancing.
It do look a queer place. I've been on so sure about it, but they wann't cut me throat bout warning, or bother noan.
Sits down on the dais and wipes his face.
Well, I'll be almost weary.
Is there anything I can do for you?
Nay, I dunnot know, but bout how get somebody to help me, I dunnot think I'll come to th' end in haste. I were looking for summat I've lost, mon.
Did you come all the way from Lancashire to look for it?
Eh, lad, I thought they'd bound to know where I come from.
Anybody could tell that, the first word you spoke. I mean no offence.
Thomas looking disappointed.
Well, none's tang. But I dunnot say that's ne'er been to Lancashire this hell.
No, I don't say that. I've been to Lancashire several times.
Where to?
Why, Manchester.
That's none of it.
And Lancaster.
Tut, tut, that's none of it neither.
And Liverpool. I was once there for a whole week.
Nay, neither of those places. Fur away off 'em.
Ah, but what does it matter where I have or haven't been?
Mun I tell thee again? I've lost summat, I tell thee. Didst to ne'er hear tell of th' owd woman that lost her shilling? Who couldn't sit her down bout who found it? Yon's me.
Hides his face in his hands.
Now I begin to guess. You don't mean you've lost your...
Thomas starting up and grasping his stick with both hands.
I do mean I've lost my young lass, and I dunnot say thou's found her, but I do say thou knows where who is. I do, there. Nay then.
What on earth makes you think that? I don't know what you're after.
Thou knows well enough. Thou knowed what I'd lost afore I towed, though you be denying your own name. Thou knows. I'll tay a fourth police, bout thou gear up. I will.
What story have you to tell the police, then? They'll want to know.
Story, says to, the dool's ith mon. Didn't I say th' mon who stealed her away go into this house not mitch over half an hour ago? I see him with my own eyes.
Why didn't you speak to him?
He popped in at the same door, and there I've been a-watching ever since. I've not took my eyes off of it. He's somewheres now in this same house.
Colonel Gervaise aside.
He may have been out in the morning. But you see, there are more doors than one to the place. There is a back door, and there is a door out into the street.
That one has to do with t'other, have it? 3 door-holes to one shed. That looks bad.
He's not here, whoever it was. There's not a man but myself in the place.
I'm more to know you're not playing a marlock with me. He'll be up his house there. I mun go look.
Going. Colonel Gervaise preventing him.
And how am I to know you're not a housebreaker?
Don't you think an old mon like myself would be of much use for sich work as that, mon?
The more fit for a spy, though, to see what might be made of it.
Mon, don't they do such things as you? But I'm seeching nothing, mon nor mouse, that donnot belong me. I tell you true. Give me my Mattie, and I'll trouble you no more. Oh, innit, if you'll give me back my Mattie.
Comes close up to him and lays his hand on his arm.
Be you a feyther, mon?
Yes.
Of a pratty young lass?
Well, no, I have but a son.
Then thou winnot help me.
I shall be very glad to help you, if you will tell me how.
Tell your maester at Mattie's owd feyther's come at the gate for Rachtar to fotter home, and I'll be much obleeged to him if he'll let her go bout longer delay, for her mother wants her to home, who's but poorly. Tell your maester that.
But I don't believe my master knows anything about her.
I tellin thee, I say the mon go into this house but a few minutes ago.
You've mistaken somebody for him.
Well, I'm bound to tell them more. 2-3 days ago, I say my chilt come out of this same door. I mean the house door yon.
Are you sure of that?
Sure as death, or say her back.
Her back? Who can be sure of a back?
By th' maskins, dost thou think I dunnot know more Mattie's back? I seen her come out of that door, I tell thee.
Why didn't you speak to her?
I could.
And she didn't answer?
I didn't go aloud. I'm not willing to have any mack of a din.
But you followed her, surely?
I did, but I'm none so good at walking as I were when I come. The stones are blistered my feet, and it's at the edge of the dark like. I cannot see weel at night wi' all the lamps, and afore I get up wi' her, who's round th' nook and gone from a seat.
There are 10,000 girls in London you might take for your own under such circumstances, not seeing more than the backs of them.
10,000 girls like more Mattie, say'st wi' a great eyes and a long ear. Puh!
But you've just said you didn't see her face.
Dunnot I know what th' face of mo child's be like, 'bout seeing of it? I'm known of a lumpyhead. Nobody as say her once wouldn't know her again.
Colonel Gervaise aside.
He's a lunatic. I don't see what I can do for you, old fellow.
Thomas rising.
And I met a known it 'bout axing. We're right, we're a great fool. But I'm bound to come in. I long to go through th' same door wi' mo Mattie. Good day, sir. It be like maester, like mon. God's curse upon all sich.
Turns his back. After a moment, turns again.
No, I winnot say that, for mo Mattie's sake. I winnot say that. God forgive her.
Going by the house.
This way, please.
Opening the street door.
I see. I'm not to have a chance of seeing all the Mottie or the mon.
Exit. Colonel Gervaise resumes his booth absently. Re-enter Thomas, shaking his fist.
But I tell thee, I'll stick to th' place day and neat, I will. Or wool.
Come back tomorrow.
Come back, say'st thou? I'll not go away.
Growing fierce.
Wilt ta gimme my Mattie? I'm noan bound to stand here so much longer. Wilt ta gimme my Mattie?
I cannot give you what I haven't got.
Oh, break the head, thou villain.
Threatening him with his stick.
Mattie, to loe such a mon's maester more than me. I would die for thee, Mattie.
Exit.
It's all a mistake, of course. There are plenty of young men. But my Arthur's none of such. I cannot believe it of him. The daughter, if I could find her, she would settle the question.
It begins to grow dark.
I must help the old man to find her. He's sure to come back. Arthur does not look the least like it. But...
Polishes vigorously.
I cannot get this boot to look like a gentleman's. I wish I had taken a lesson or two first. I'll get hold of a shoeblack and make him come for a morning or two. No, he does not look like it. Now there he comes.
Goes on polishing. Enter Gervaise.
William!
Colonel Gervaise turning.
Yes, sir.
Light the gas. Anyone called?
Yes, sir.
Who?
I don't know, sir.
Lighting the gas.
You should have asked his name.
Stands before the clay, contemplating it.
I'm sorry, I forgot, sir. It was only an old man from the country. After his daughter, he said.
Come to offer his daughter, or himself perhaps.
Begins to work at the figure. Colonel Gervaise watching him stealthily.
He looked a respectable old party. From Lancashire, he said.
I dare say. You will have many such callers. Take their address. Models, you know.
If he calls again, sir?
Ask him to leave his address, I say.
But he told me you knew her.
Possibly. I had a good many models before I left. But it's of no consequence. I don't want any at present.
He seemed in a great way, sir, and swore. I couldn't make him out. He says he saw her come out of the house.
Has there been any girl here? Have you seen any about?
No, sir.
My aunt had a dressmaker to meet her here the other evening. I have had no model since I came back."
The man was in a sad taking about her, sir. I didn't know what to make of it. There seems some truth, something suspicious.
Perhaps my aunt can throw some light upon it.
Colonel Gervaise lingers.
That will do.
Exit Colonel Gervaise.
How oddly the man behaves. A sunstroke in India, perhaps. Or he may have had a knock on the head. I must keep my eye on him.
Stops working, steps backward, and gazes at the psyche.
She is growing very like someone. Who can it be? She knows she is puzzling me, the beauty. See how she is keeping back a smile. She knows if she lets one smile out, her whole face will follow it through the clay. How strange the half-lights of memory are. You know, and you don't know, both at once. Like the bat in the twilight, you are sure of it, and the same moment it is nowhere. Who is my Psyche like? The forehead above the eyebrow, and round by the temple? The half-playful, half-sorrowful curve of the lip? The hope in the lifted eyelid? There is more there than ever I put there. Some power has been shaping my ends. By heaven, I have it! No. Yes, it is. It is Constance, momently dawning out of the clay. What does this mean? She never gave me a sitting. At least, she has not done so for the last 10 years. Yet here she is. She and no other. I never thought she was beautiful. When she came with my aunt the other day, though, I did fancy I saw a new soul dawning through the lovely face. Here it is, the same soul breaking through the clay of my psyche. I will give it just one touch to the corner of the mouth.
Gives a few touches, then steps back again and contemplates the figure, turns away and walks up and down. The light darkens to slow, plaintive music, which lasts for a minute. Then the morning begins to dawn, gleaming blue upon the statues and casts, and revealing Gervaise. Seated before his psyche, gazing at her, he rises and exits. Enter Colonel Gervaise and looks about.
I don't know what to make of it. Or rather, I'm afraid I do know what to make of it. Looks bad. He's not been in bed all night. But it shows he has some conscience left, and that's a comfort.
Enter Mrs. Clifford, peeping round cautiously.
What, Clara? You here so early?
Well, you know, brother, you're so fond of mystery.
It's very kind of you to come. But we must be very careful. I can't tell when my master may be home.
Has he been out all night, then?
Oh, no, he's just gone.
I never knew him such an early bird. I made sure he was safe in bed for a couple of hours yet. But I do trust, Walter, you have had enough of this fooling, and are prepared to act like a rational man and a gentleman.
On the contrary, Clara, with my usual obstinacy, I am more determined than ever that my boy shall not know me, until, as I told you, I have rendered him such service as may prove me not altogether unworthy to be his father. 20 years of neglect will be hard to surmount.
But mere menial service cannot discharge the least portion of your obligations. As his father alone can you really serve him.
You persist in misunderstanding me. This is not the service I mean. I scorn the fancy. This is only the means, as I told you plainly before, of finding out how I may serve him, of learning what he really needs, or most desires. If I fail in discovering how to recommend myself to him, I shall go back to India and content myself with leaving him a tolerable fortune.
However a harebrained fellow like you, Walter, could have made such a soldier. Why don't you tell your boy you love him and have done with it?
I will, as soon as I have proof to back the assertion.
I tell you it is rank pride.
It may be pride, sister, but it is the pride of a repentant thief who puts off his confession until he has the money in his hand to prove the genuineness of his sorrow.
It never was of any use to argue with you, Walter. You know that, or at least I know it, so I give up. I trust you have got over your prejudice against his profession. It is not my fault.
In truth, I had forgotten the profession, as you call it, in watching the professor.
And has it not once occurred to you to ask how he may take such watching?
By the time he is aware of it, he will be ready to understand it.
But suppose he should discover you before you have thus established your position?
I must run the risk.
Suppose, then, you should thus find out something he would not have you know.
Do you imagine his servant might know a thing he would hide from his father?
I do not, Walter. I can trust him. But he might well resent the espionage of even his father. You cannot get rid of the vile look of the thing.
Again I say, my boy shall be my judge, and my love shall be my plea. In any case, I shall have to ask his forgiveness. But there is his key in the lock. Run into the house.
Exit Mrs. Clifford, enter Gervais, and goes straight to the psyche.
Breakfast is waiting, sir.
By and by, William.
You haven't been in bed, sir.
Well, what of that?
I hope you're not ill, sir.
Not in the least. I work all night sometimes. You can go.
Colonel Gervais lingers with a searching gaze at the psyche.
I don't want anything.
Pardon me, sir, but I am sure you are ill. You've done no work since last night.
Gervais with displeasure.
I am quite well, and wish to be alone.
Mayn't I go and fetch a doctor, sir? It is better to take things in time.
You are troublesome.
Exit Colonel Gervais.
What can the fellow mean? He looked at me so strangely, too. He's officious, that's all, I dare say. A good sort of man, I do think. William! What is it in the man's face?
Enter Colonel Gervais.
Is the breakfast ready?
Quite ready, sir.
I'm sorry I spoke to you so hastily. The fact is—
Don't mention it, sir. Speak as you will to me. I shan't mind it. When there's anything on a man's conscience, I mean on a man's mind—
What do you mean?
I mean when there is anything there, he can't well help his temper, sir.
I don't understand you. But anyhow, you go too far, William.
I beg your pardon, sir. I forgot myself. I do humbly beg your pardon. Shall I make some fresh coffee, sir? It's not cold. It's only stood too long.
The coffee will do well enough.
Exit Colonel Gervais.
Is she so beautiful?
Turning to the psyche.
Is there a likeness? I see it. Nonsense. A mere chance confluence of the ideal and the actual. Even then the chance must mean something. Such a mere chance would indeed be a strange one.
Enter Constance.
Oh, my heart! Here she comes, my Psyche herself. Well, Constance!
Oh, Arthur, I'm so glad I found you. I want to talk to you about something. I know you don't care much about me now, but I must tell you, for it would be wrong not.
Gervais aside.
How beautiful she is! What can she have to tell me about? It cannot be. It shall not be. Sit down, won't you?
Offering her a chair.
No, you sit there.
Pointing to the dais.
And I will sit here.
Placing herself on the lower step.
It was here I used to sit so often when I was a little girl. Why can't one keep little? I was always with you then.
Sighs.
It is not my fault, Constance.
Oh, no, I suppose it can't be. Only I don't see why. Oh, Arthur, where should I be but for you? I saw the old place yesterday. How dreadful and yet how dear it was.
Who took you there?
Nobody. I went alone.
It was hardly safe. I don't like your going out alone, Constance.
Why, Arthur, I used to know every court and alley about Shoreditch better than I know Berkeley Square now.
But what made you go there?
I went to find a dressmaker who has been working for my aunt, and lost my way. And, would you believe it, I was actually frightened.
No wonder. There are rough people about there.
I never used to think them rough when I lived among them with my father and mother. There must be just as good people there as anywhere else, yet I could not help shuddering at the thought of living there again. How strange it made me feel. You have been my angel, Arthur. What would have become of me if you hadn't taken me, I dare not think.
I have had my reward, Constance. You are happy.
Not quite. There's something I want to tell you.
Tell on, child.
Oh, thank you. That is how you used to talk to me.
Hesitates. Gervais with foreboding.
Well, what is it?
Constance pulling the fingers of her gloves.
A gentleman, you know him, has been calling upon Aunt and me. We have seen a good deal of him.
Who is he?
Mr. Waterfield.
Keeps her eyes on the floor.
Well?
He says he wants me to marry him. Aunt likes him.
And you?
I like him too. I don't think I like him enough. I dare say I shall. It is so good of him to take poor me. He is very rich, they say.
Have you accepted him?
I am afraid he thinks so. Yes. I hardly know.
Haven't you been rather in a hurry, Constance?
No, indeed. I haven't been in a hurry at all. He has been a long time trying to make me like him. I have been too long a burden to Mrs. Clifford.
So it's her doing, then?
You were away, you know.
Yes, too far. Chipping stones and making mud pies.
I don't know what you mean by that, Arthur.
Oh, nothing. I mean that, of course, if you are engaged to him, then...
I'm afraid I've done very wrong, Arthur. If I had thought you would care, I knew Aunt would be pleased. She wanted me to have him, I knew. I ought to do what I can to please her, ought I not? I have no right to...
Surely. Yes, I understand. It was not your fault. Only you mustn't marry him if you... Thank you for telling me.
I ought to have told you before I let him speak to me again. But I didn't think you would care. Not much.
Yes.
Constance looking up with anxiety.
Ah, you are vexed with me, Arthur. I see how wrong it was now. I never saw you look like that. I'm very, very sorry.
Bursts into tears.
No, child. Only it is rather sudden, and I want to think about it. Shall I send William home with you?
No, thank you. I have a cab waiting. You're not angry with your little beggar, Arthur?
What is there to be angry about, child?
That I did anything without asking you first.
Nonsense. You couldn't help it. You're not to blame one bit.
Oh, yes, I am. I ought to have asked you first. But indeed, I did not know you would care. Goodbye. Shall I go at once?
Goodbye.
Exit Constance, looking back troubled.
Come at last. Oh, fool! In love with her at last! And too late! For 3 years I haven't seen her, have not once written to her. Since I came back I've seen her just twice, and now in the very hell of love. The ragged little darling that used to lie coiled up there in that corner. If it were my sister, it would be hard to lose her so. And to such a fellow as that! Not even a gentleman! How could she take him for one? That does perplex me. Ah, well, I suppose men have borne such things before, and men will bear them again. I must work. Nothing but work will save me.
Approaches the psyche, but turns from it with a look of despair and disgust.
What a fool I have been! Constance! A brute like that to touch one of her fingers! God in heaven, it will drive me mad!
Rushes out, leaving the door open. Enter Colonel Gervaise.
Gone again, and without his breakfast. My poor boy. There's something very wrong with you. It's that girl. It must be. But there's conscience in him yet. It is all my fault. If I had been a father to him, this would never have happened. If he were to marry the girl now, only who can tell but she led him astray? I have known such a thing.
Sits down and buries his face in his hands. Enter Waterfield.
Is Mr. Gervais in?
Colonel Gervais rising.
No, sir.
Tell him I called, will you?
Exit.
Yes, sir. Forgot again. A young man, gentleman or cad? Don't know. Think the latter.
Enter Thomas.
And you heard spake o' my chilt yet, sir?
Colonel Gervais starting up.
In the name of God, I know nothing of your child. But bring her here, and I will give you £100 in golden sovereigns.
More to fotter ye, when I dunnot know where hoo be, sir.
That's your business. Bring her, and there will be your money.
Don't you think, sir, all the gowden sovereigns in the Bank of England would put a sharper edge on me owd eyes when they look for my lass? Mon, you dunnot know the heart of a feyther, of the feyther of a lass barn, sir. And you kilt and buried her, and nae be you sorry for't. He'll be dead and gone, tell me, sir, and I'll go home again. For my owd lass be main lonesome bout me, and we'll wait till we go to her, for hoo winnot come no more to us.
For anything I know, your daughter is alive and well. Bring her here, I say, and I will make you happy.
I shannot want this of the silverings either to make me happy then, maister. If I had a howd of my lass, it's none a year I'd be a coming wi' her. It's reet straight whoam to her mother we'd be going, I'll be bound. Nay, mon, I'm noan such a great fool as you tak me for.
Exit. Colonel Gervais follows him. Enter Gervais. Sits down before the Psyche, but without looking at her.
Oh, those fingers! They are striking terrible chords on my heart. I will conquer it, but I will love her. The spear shall fill its own wound. To draw it out and die would be no victory. I'll but lie down and bleed a while, and then I'll rise and fight again. Brave old Sir Andrew.
Enter Colonel Gervais.
I beg your pardon, sir. A young man called while you were out.
Gervais listlessly.
Very well, William.
Is there any message if he calls again, sir? He said he would.
No.
Colonel Gervais lingers.
You can go.
I hope you feel better, sir.
Quite well.
Can I get you anything, sir?
No, thank you. I want nothing. Why do you stay?
Can't you think of something I can do for you, sir?
Fetch that red cloth.
Yes, sir.
Throw it over that.
This, sir?
No, the clay there. Thank you.
You knock at the door.
See who that is.
Are you at home, sir?
That depends. Not to Mr. Waterfield. Oh, my head, my head.
Exit Colonel Gervais. Enter Constance. Gervais starts, but keeps his head leaning on his hand.
I forgot to say to you, Arthur. But you are ill. What is the matter, dear Arthur?
Gervais without looking up.
Nothing, only a headache.
Do come home with me, and let Aunt and me nurse you. Don't be vexed with me any more. I will do whatever you like. I couldn't go home without seeing you again, and now I find you ill.
Not a bit. I am only dreadfully busy. I must go out of town. I am so busy. I can't stay in it a moment longer. I have so many things to do.
Mayn't I come and see you while you work? I never used to interrupt you. I want so to sit once more in my old place.
Draws a stool towards him.
No, not there. Constance used to sit there. William!
You frighten me, Arthur.
Enter Colonel Gervais.
Bring a chair, William.
Constance sits down like a chidden child. Exit Colonel Gervais.
I must have offended you more than I thought, Arthur. What can I say? It is so stupid to be always saying, I am sorry.
No, but someone may call.
You mean more than that. Will you not let me understand?
Your friend Mr. Waterfield called a few minutes ago. He will be here again presently, I dare say.
Constance indifferently.
Indeed.
I suppose you expected to meet him here.
Arthur, do you think I would come to you to meet him? I saw him this morning. I don't want to see him again. I wish you knew him.
Why should you want me to know him?
Because you would do him good.
What good does he want done him?
He has got beautiful things in him. Talks well, in bits, arms and feet and faces. Never anything like...
Turning to the psyche.
Why has she been naughty too?
Is it only naughty things that must be put out of sight, Constance?
Dear Arthur, you spoke like your own self then.
Gervase rising hurriedly.
Excuse me, I must go. It is very rude, but... William!
Enter Colonel Gervaise.
Yes, sir.
Fetch a hansom directly.
Yes, sir.
Exit.
You do frighten me, Arthur. I'm sure you are ill.
Not at all. I have an engagement.
I must go then, must I?
Do not think me unkind.
I will not think anything you would not have me think.
Re-enter Colonel Gervaise.
The cab is at the door, sir.
Thank you. Then show Miss Lacordaire out. Stay, I will open the door for her myself.
Exeunt Gervase and Constance.
He speaks like one in despair, forcing every word. If he should die... Oh, my God.
Re-enter Gervase, walks up and down the room.
Are you going, sir?
No, I have sent the lady in the cab.
Then hadn't you better lie down, sir?
Lie down? What do you mean? I'm not in the way of lying down except to sleep.
And let me go for the doctor, sir?
The doctor? You are a soldier, you say?
Yes, sir.
Right. We're all soldiers, or ought to be. I will put you to your catechism. What is a soldier's first duty?
Obedience, sir.
Gervase sits down and leans his head on his hands. Colonel Gervaise watches him.
Ah, obedience, is it? Then turn those women out. They will hurt you, may kill you, but you must not mind that. They burn, they blister, and they blast, for as white as they look. The hottest is the white fire. But duty, old soldier, obedience, you know. Oh, my head, my head. I believe I am losing my senses, William. I was in a bad part of the town this morning. I went to see a place I knew long ago. It had gone to hell, but the black edges of it were left. There was a smell, and I can't get it out of me. Oh, William, William, take hold of me. Don't let them come near me. Psyche is laughing at me. I told you to throw the red cloth over her.
Oh, my poor boy.
Don't fancy you're my father, though. I wish you were, but I cannot allow that. Why the devil didn't you throw the red cloth over that butterfly? She's sucking the blood from my heart.
You said the Psyche, sir. The red cloth is over the Psyche, sir. Look.
Yes, I beg your pardon. Take it off. It is too red. It will scorch her wings. It burns my brain. Take it off, I say.
Colonel Gervaise uncovers the Psyche.
There, I told you. She's laughing at me. Ungrateful child. I'm not her Cupid. Cover her up. Not the red cloth again. It's too hot, I say. I won't torture her. I am a man, and I can bear it. She is a woman, and she shan't bear it.
Sinks back in his chair. Colonel Gervaise lays him on the dais and sits down beside him.
His heart's all right. And when a fellow's miserable over his faults, there must be some way out of them. But the consequences, there's the rub.
What's the matter? Where am I?
I must fetch a doctor, sir. You've been in a faint.
Why shouldn't I keep in it? It was very nice. You know nothing, and that's the nicest thing of all. Why is it we can't stop, William?
I don't understand you, sir.
Stop living, I mean. It's no use killing yourself, for you don't stop then. At least, they say you go on living all the same. If I thought it did mean stopping, William.
Do come to your room, sir.
I won't. I'll stop here. How hot it is. Don't let anybody in.
Stretches out his hand. Colonel Gervaise holds it. He falls asleep.
What shall I do? If he married her, he'd be miserable and make her miserable, too. I'll take her away somewhere. I'll be a father to her. I'll tend her as if she were his widow. But what confusions would follow! Alas, one crime is the mother of 1,000 miseries, and now he's in for a fever, typhus perhaps. I must find this girl. What a sweet creature that Miss Lacordaire is! If only he might have her! I don't care what she was.
Don't let them near me, William. They will drive me mad. They think I shall love them. I will not. If she comes one step nearer, I shall strike her. You, Diana, Hecate, Hellcat. Fire-hearted chaos is burning me to ashes. My brain is a cinder. Some water, William.
Here it is, sir.
But just look to Psyche there. Ah, she's off. There she goes, melting away in the blue, like a dissolving vapor. Bring me my field glass, William. I may catch a glimpse of her yet. Make haste.
Pray don't talk so, sir. Do be quiet, or you will make yourself very ill. Think what will become of me if...
What worse would you be, William? You are a soldier. I must talk. You are all wrong about it. It keeps me quiet.
Holding his head with both hands.
I should go raving mad else.
Wildly.
Give me some water.
He drinks eagerly, then looks slowly round the room.
Now they are gone, and I do believe they won't come again. I see everything. And your face, William. You are very good to me, very patient. I should die if it weren't for you.
I would die for you, sir.
Would you? But perhaps you don't care much for your life. Anybody might have my life for the asking. I dare say it's just as good to be dead. Ah, there is a toad with a tail. No, it's a toad with a slow worm after him. Take them away, William. Thank you. I used to think life pleasant, but now, somehow there's nothing in it. She told me the truth about it. Constance did. Don't let those women come back. What if I should love them, William? Love and hate them both at once. William!
A knock at the door.
See who that is. Mind you don't let them in.
Martha is here, sir.
She's but an old woman. She can't keep them out. They would walk over her. All the goddesses have such long legs. You go and look. You'll easily know them. If they've got no irises to their eyes, don't let them in, for the love of God, William. Real women have irises to their eyes. Those have none. Those frightful snowy beauties. And yet snow is very nice. And I'm so hot. There they come again.
Exit Colonel Gervaise. Enter Mrs. Clifford.
Aunt, help me. There they come.
What is it, my Arthur? They shan't hurt you. I am here. I will take care of you.
Yes, you will. I am not a bit afraid of them now. Do you know them, Aunt? I'll tell you a secret. They are Juno and Diana in Venus. They hate sculptors, but I never wronged them. 3 white women. Only, between their fingers and behind their knees they are purple, and inside their lips when they smile, and in the hollows of their eyes. Ugh! They want me to love them, and they say you are all of you women, no better than they are. I know that is a lie, for they have no eyelids and no irises to their eyes.
Dear boy, they shan't come near you. Shall I sing to you and drive them away?
No, don't. I can't bear birds in my brain.
How long have you had this headache?
Laying her hand on his forehead.
Only a year or 2, since the white woman came. That woman.
Pointing to the Psyche.
She's been buried for ages and won't grow brown.
There's no woman there, Arthur.
Of course not. It was an old story that bothered me. Oh, my head, my head. There's my father standing behind the door and won't come in. He could help me now if he would. William, show my father in. But he isn't in the story, so he can't.
Do try to keep yourself quiet, Arthur. The doctor will be here in a few minutes.
He shan't come here. He would put the white woman out. She does smell earthy, but I won't part with her.
A knock.
What a devil of a noise! Why don't they use the knocker? What's the use of taking a sledgehammer?
It's that stupid James.
Enter Constance. Mrs. Clifford goes to meet her.
Constance, you go and hurry the doctor. I will stay with Arthur.
Is he very ill, Aunt?
I'm afraid he is.
Gervais sitting up.
Constance! Constance!
Here I am.
Running to him.
Oh, my head! I wish I could find somewhere to lay it. Sit by me, Constance, and let me lay my head upon your shoulder. For 1 minute, only 1 minute. It aches so.
She sits down by him. His head sinks on her shoulder. Mrs. Clifford looks annoyed and exit.
Thank you, dear Arthur.
Sobbing.
You used to like me. I could not believe you hated me now. You have forgiven me, dear head.
He closes his eyes. Slow, plaintive music. Gervais half waking.
I can't read. When I get to the bottom of the page, I wonder what it is all about. I shall never get to Garibaldi. And if I don't, I shall never get farther. If I could but keep that one line away. It drives me mad, mad. He took her by the lily-white hand. I could strangle myself for thinking of such things, but they will come. I won't go mad. I should never get to Garibaldi, and never be rid of this red-hot plowshare plowing up my heart. I shall not go mad. I will die like a man.
Arthur! Arthur!
God in heaven, she is there, and all the others are behind her. Psyche! Psyche! Don't speak to those women. Come alone, and I will tear my heart out and give it you. It is Psyche herself now, and the rest are gone. Psyche, listen.
It's only me, Arthur, your own little Constance. If Aunt would but let me stay and nurse you, but I don't know what's come to her. She's not like herself at all.
Who's that behind you?
Behind me?
Looking round.
There's nobody behind me.
I thought there was somebody behind you. William! What can have become of William?
I dare say Aunt has sent him somewhere.
Then he's gone. He's gone.
You're not afraid of being left alone with me, Arthur?
Oh, no. Of course not. What can have become of William? Don't you know they sent him, not those women, but the dead people, to look after me? He is a good fellow. He said he would die for me. Not much in that, is there?
Don't laugh so, dear Arthur.
Well, I won't. I have something to tell you, Constance. I will try to keep my senses till I've told you.
Do tell me. I hope I haven't done anything more to vex you. Indeed, I am sorry. I won't speak to that man again if you like. I would rather not, if you wish it.
What right have I to dictate to you, my child?
Every right. I am yours. I belong to you. Nobody owned me when you took me.
Don't talk like that. You will drive me mad.
Arthur! Arthur!
Listen to me, Constance. I am going to Garibaldi. He wants soldiers. I must not live an idle life any longer. We must part, Constance. Goodbye, my darling.
No, no, not yet. We'll talk about it by and by. You see, I shall have ever so many things to make for you before you can go.
Smiling.
Garibaldi can't wait, Constance. And I can't wait. I shall die if I stop here.
Oh, Arthur, you are in some trouble, and you won't tell me what it is, so I can't help you.
I shall be killed, I know. I mean to be. Will you think of me sometimes? Give me one kiss. I may have a last kiss.
Constance weeping.
My heart will break if you talk like that, Arthur. I will do anything you please. There's something wrong, dreadfully wrong, and it must be my fault. Oh, there's that man.
Starting up.
He shall not come here.
Runs to the house door and stands listening with her hand on the key. End of Act 1. Act 2 of If I Had a Father by George MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Scene. A street in Mayfair, Mrs. Clifford's house, a pastry cook's shop, boys looking in at the window.
I say, Jim, ain't it a lot of grub? If I was a pig now.
I likes to hear Bill a-sposing of himself. Go it, Bill. There ain't nothing he can't suppose hisself, Jim. Being as you ain't a pig, Bill, you've got your own trotters and your own tater trap.
Thereupon Blue Bobby accosts me with the remark, I wants you, Bill, and see me too paralysed to boat. He pops me in that ere jug without ere a handle.
Mother kept a pig once.
What was he like, Jack?
As like any other pig as ever he could look. Except that where other pigs is black, he wore white, and where other pigs is white, he wore black.
Did you have the milk in your tea, Jack?
Pigs ain't got no milk, Jim, you stoop.
Pigs has milk, Jack. Only they don't give it to calves. I wish I was the Lord Mayor.
Go it again, Bill. He ought to have been a beak, Bill ought. What would you do, Bill, supposing as how you was the Lord Mayor?
I'd take all the beaks and all the peelers and put their own bracelets on 'em and feed 'em once a day on scraps of victuals to bring out the hunger. A cove can't be hungry upon nothing at all.
He gets what Mother calls the squeamishes.
Well, Bill?
Well, the very moment their bellies was as long and as loose as an ochre bag of a winter's morning, I'd bring 'em all up to this here winder, 5 or 6 at a time, with the derbies on, mind you.
And I'm to be there to see, Bill, ain't I?
If you're good, Jim, and don't forget your prayers.
My eye, it's as good as penny gaff. Go it, Bill.
Then I up and addresses him, my lords and gentlemen, course is how you're all good boys, and goes to church, and don't eat too many victuals, and don't take off your bracelets when you goes to bed. You shall observe me eat.
Go it, Bill. I likes you, Bill.
Now, Jim, I must close. The imagination is a hungry gift, as the cock said when he bolted the pebbles. Let's adjourn the meeting.
Yes, come along. 'Tain't a comfortable corner this year. The wind cuts round uncommon sharp. Them pies ain't good. Leastways not to look at.
They aren't digestible. But looky here, Jack and Jim. Harkee, my kids.
Puts an arm round the neck of each and whispers first to one and then to the other. Enter Mattie and Susan.
Now, Mattie, we're close to the house, and I don't want to be seen with you, for she's mad at me.
You must have made her mad then, Sue.
She maddened me first. What else when she wouldn't believe a word I said? She'd have sworn on the gospel book we sent the parcel up the spout. But she'll believe you and give you something, and then we'll have a chop.
How can you expect that, Sue, when the work's lost?
Never mind. You go and see.
I shan't take it, Susan. I couldn't.
Stuff and nonsense. I'll wait you round the corner. I don't like the smell of them pastry things.
Exit. Mattie walks past the window.
I don't like going. It makes me feel a thief to be suspected.
Lord, it's old Mattie. There's old Mattie. Mattie! Mattie!
Ah, Bill, you're there, are you?
Yes, Mattie. It's a tartar show. You walks up and takes your choice. Leastways, you makes it. Somebody else takes it.
Wouldn't you like to take your choice sometimes, Bill?
In course I would.
Then why don't you work and better yourself a bit?
Bless you, Mattie. Myself is very comfortable. He never complains.
You're hungry sometimes, ain't you?
Most remarkable hungry, Mattie. This very moment. Odd you should ask now, ain't it?
You would get plenty to eat if you would work.
Thank you, I'd rather not. Them as ain't hungry never enjoys their damaged tarts. If I'm happy, there's the odds. As the cat said to the mouses, wanted to be let off the engagement. Why should I work more than any other gentleman?
A gentleman that don't work is a curse to his neighbours, Bill.
Bless you, May. I ain't a curse. Now to nobody. I don't see as you've got any call to say that, Matty. I don't go faking ties or cracking cribs, nothing of the sort. And I don't mind doing of an old job if it is an old one. Don't go for to say that again, Mary.
I won't then, Bill. But just look at yourself. You're all in rags.
Rags is the area, as the Skye Terrier said to the Black and Tan. I shouldn't object to a new pair of old trousers, though.
Why don't you have a pair of real new ones? If you would only sweep a crossing.
There ain't a crossing but what's took. Besides, my legs ain't put together for one place all day long. It ain't to be done, Matty. They can't do it.
There's the shoe-black business, then.
That ain't so bad, 'cause you can shoulder your box and trudge. But it's all the same to you, Matty. I'd rather enjoy life. They say it's short.
But it ain't the same to me. It's so bad for you to be idle, Bill.
Not as I knows on. I'm tolerable jolly, so long as I gets the browns for my bed.
Wouldn't you like a bed with a blanket to it?
Well, yeah, if it was guv to me. But I don't go in for knocking of yourself about to sleep warm.
Well, look here, Bill. It's all Susan and I can do to pay for our room, and get a bit of bread and a cup of tea. It ain't enough. If you were to earn a few pence now...
Oh, golly, I never thought of that. What a hass I were, to be sure. I'll go a shoe blacking tomorrow. I will.
Did you ever black a shoe, Bill?
I tried a boot once, when Jim wore a blacking for a day or two. But I made nothing on it. Nothing worth mentioning. The blacking or something was wrong. The gentleman said it were cove dust, and he slogged me and advised me to go on and learn my trade.
And what did you say to that?
Hollowed out, "Shine your boots," as loud as I could holler.
You must try my boots next time you come.
This very night, Matty. I'll make 'em shine like plate glass. See then if I don't. But where'll I get a box and brushes?
You shall have our brushes and my footstool.
I see. Turn the stool upside down, put the brushes in and carry it by one leg, as drunken Maud does her kid. Here you are, sir. Black your boots, sir. Shine your charter, sir.
Bawling.
That'll do, Bill. Famous. You needn't do it again.
Holding her ears.
Would you like a tart?
Just one right then. Shine your boots.
Do hold your tongue, Bill. There's a penny for a tart.
Thank you, Matty. Thank you.
Exit into the shop. Jock and Jim touching their supposed caps.
Please, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
I'd like some too.
I like some more than Bill.
I'm very sorry, but...
Feeling in her pocket.
I've got a halfpenny, I believe. No, there's a penny. You must share it, you know.
Gives it to Jock. Knocks at Mrs. Clifford's door.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Exit Mattie into Mrs. Clifford's.
Now, Jack, what's it to be?
I believe I shall spend it in St. Martin's Lane.
A ha'porth on its mind, you know, Jack.
Well, you do put the stunners on me.
She said we was to divide it, she did.
'Tain't possible. It beats my ivories.
He pretends to bite it. Jim flies at him in a rage. Re-enter Bill with his mouth full.
Now what are you two squabbling over? Oh, Joe's got a yin up and Jim's looking shirty.
She told him to divide it and he won't.
Who told him?
Matty?
You dare, Jack. Hand over.
Be hanged if I do.
Then do and be hanged.
A struggle.
There, Jim. Now you go and buy what you like.
Am I to give Jack the half?
Yes, if old Matty said it.
All right, Bill.
Goes into the shop.
I owe you one for that, Bill.
Have it me then, Jack. I do like fair play. Always did.
Eating.
You ain't a sharing of your yunup, Bill.
Mattie didn't say I was to. She named me once one break up into three now, how? Tain't in nature, Jack.
You might have given me a bite anyhow, Bill.
It ain't desirable, Jack. So as a trap duly considered, here comes your share.
Re-enter Jim gives a bun to Jack.
I tell you what, Bill. She ain't your Mattie. She ain't nobody's Mattie. She's a hangel.
Now, Jim, she ain't a hangle. She ain't got no wings this ways outside her clothes, and she ain't got clothes enough to hide 'em. I wish I was a hangle.
At it again, Bill. I do like to hear Bill a wishing of hisself. Why, Bill?
Of course they're never hungry.
How do you know they ain't?
We never sees 'em loafing about nowheres.
Is Mattie your sister, Bill?
Now, Jim, I ain't good enough to have a sister like she.
Your sweetheart, Bill.
Dry up, Jack.
Tell me about her, Bill. I didn't dry you.
She lives in our cult, Jim. Makes shapes and things.
Oh.
Bill hits Jack. Jack doubles himself up.
Jim, old Mattie ain't like other gals. I'll never see her out before this blessed day. Upon my word and honour, Jim, never.
Jack wiping his nose with his sleeve.
You don't know a joke from a jemmy, Bill.
Oh, joke, you. A hangle tips you a tart, and you plucks her feathers. Get on the other side of the way, you little dirty devil, or I'll give you another smeller. Cheap, too. Offers you.
No, Bill, no, please. I'm very sorry. I ain't so bad as all that comes to.
If he wants to go with Jim and me, he'll behave like a gentleman.
I calls our Mattie a brick.
None of your jaw, Jim. She ain't your Mattie.
Enter Thomas.
Childer, don't you know the way to Paradise? Row, a road or summit?
Dunno, sir. You actors at the Sunday school.
Where's the Sunday school, Chilt?
Second door round the corner, sir.
Second door round the corner? Which corner, mam on?
Round any corner. Second door's always Sunday school.
Takes a sight, exeunt boys. Thomas sits down on a doorstep.
Eh, but I be main weary. Surely th' Lord dunnot be a forsaking of me. There's that about th' lost ship. Up yon, where th' angels keep great flocks of 'em, they dunnot like to lose one of 'em, and they might well be helping of me to look for my lost lamb i' this awful place. What has th' shepherd of th' sheep himself to do, God bless him, but go look for th' lost ones and carry 'em home? Oh Lord, give 'em a Mattie. Oh, I'm a silly shit mysel', a searching for my lost lamb.
Boys begin to gather and stare.
She's all the world to me. Oh Lord, hear me, and give 'em a Mattie. Nay, I'll get up and go look again.
Rises.
Ain't he a cricket, Tommy?
Brian, proud of him, and see him jump.
Why, Childer, what have I done that you cry after me like a thief?
Daddy Longlegs, Daddy Longlegs.
They hustle and crowd him. Re-enter Bill. Thomas makes a rush. They run. He seizes Bill. They gather again.
And you getting a mother, lad?
No, thank you. Ain't got no mother. Come of a hot, I do.
Game, ain't he?
Well, I'll take you home to your aunt, I will.
Will you now, old chap? Well.
Squats. Thomas holding him up by the collar and shaking his stick over him.
Tell me, where's your aunt, or I'll break every bone in your body.
Bill wriggling and howling and rubbing his eyes with alternate sleeves.
Let me go, I say. Let me go and I'll tell you. I will indeed, sir.
Thomas letting go.
Where then, my lad?
Bill starting up.
In the church cellar, sir. First bin over left. Feeds musty and smells strong. Ha!
Takes a sight. Thomas makes a dart. Bill dodges him.
Ain't he a cricket now, Tommy?
God, one leg too many for a cricket, Sam.
That's what he jerks himself with, Tommy.
Boys, I want to be friends with you. Here's a penny.
One of the boys knocks it out of his hand. A scramble.
Now, boys, don't you know where's a young woman by the name of Mattie, somewhere about Paradise Row?
Yes, old un.
Lots on them.
Oh, which on 'em do you want, Mr. Cricket?
You ain't particular, I suppose, old Corner Bones?
Don't you fret, old Stilts. We'll find you, Mattie. There's plenty on 'em, all nice gals.
I want more Mattie.
Why, you'd never tell one from t'other on 'em.
All and I'm really glad to see old Daddy Longlegs.
Oh dear, what an awful place this Lunnon do be, to see the childer so bad.
Don't cry, Grandpa. She'd chaff you worse than us. We're only poor little innocent boys. We don't know nothing, bless you. Oh, no.
You'd better let her alone arter all bag of nails.
She'll have it out on you now for whooping of her when she were a kid.
She's a whop herself now.
Mighty fine, with your shirt for a greatcoat.
Mattie never kicks us poor innocent boys, 'cause we ain't got no mothers to take our parts. Boo-hoo.
Entered Jock, his hands in his pockets.
What's the row, Bill?
Dunno, Jack. Old chap collared me when I wasn't alone to him. He's after some Mattie or other. It can't be old Mattie. She wouldn't never have such a blazing old parent as that.
Supposing it was your Mattie, Bill, would you split and let Skull and Crossbones nab her?
Would I? Would I hand over our Mattie to a natural enemy? Did you axe it, Jack?
Natural enemy. My eye, Bill. What words you fakes?
Ain't he your natural enemy, then? Ain't it your father as bumps your head and cusses you and lets you see him eat? Before he gets our Mattie, I'll bite.
Poor lad, dunnot say that. Her feyther's the best for een who's getten. The more's the pity, for it's not much he can do for her, but he would do for her, he would.
Go along, Daddy Devil.
Pick your own bones and I then.
Bag raker.
Skinned cat.
Bag of nails.
Skull and crossbones.
Oh, Daddy Longlegs wouldn't say his prayers.
Take him by his left leg and throw him downstairs.
Go along.
Go to hell.
We'll skin you.
Melt you down for tallow, we will.
Only you ain't got none of red herring.
They throw things at him. He sits down on the doorstep and covers his head with his arms. Enter Colonel Gervaise. Boys run off.
Oh, my Mattie, my Mattie.
Poor old fellow. Are you hurt?
Hey, you'll be a following of me too.
What are you doing here?
What am I doing here? Thee knows well enough what I'm a-doing here. It's a all thy fault, mon.
Why, you've got a blow. Your head is cut, poor old fellow.
Never you mind my head.
You must go home.
Go home, says ter. Oh, go nowheres but to the grave afore I found my chilt.
Come along with me. I will do all I can to find her. Perhaps I can help you after all.
Oh, mak nae doubt of that, mon. And tha seems a gradely chap. I'm almost spent, and I'm sick. Dunnot let th' boys shove me about again.
I will not. They shan't come near you. Take my arm, poor old fellow. If you could but trust me. Hey, a cab there.
Exeunt. Enter Susan, peeping.
I wonder whatever's come to Mattie. It's a long time she was out again.
Enter Mattie, hurriedly.
Oh, Susan, Susan.
Falls.
Mattie, Mattie.
Kneels beside her and undoes her bonnet. Enter policeman.
What ails her?
Goes to lift her.
Leave her alone, will you? Let her head down. Get some water.
Drunk, is she?
Hold your tongue, you brute. If she'd a satin frock on instead of this here poor cotton gown, you'd had shown her the other side of your manners. Get away with you. You're too ugly to look at. Mattie, look up, child.
She mustn't lie there.
Susan.
Come, my girl.
You keep off, I tell you. Don't touch her. She's none of your sort. Come, Mattie dear. Why don't you make 'em move on?
You better keep a civil tongue in your head, young woman.
You live lobster.
I'll have to lock you up, I see. One violent, t'other incapable.
You're another. Mattie, my dear, come along home.
That's right, be off with you.
Mattie rises.
Let's go, Sue. Let's get farther off.
You can't walk, child. If I hadn't been so short of victuals for a week, I could have carried you. But it's only a step to the cook shop.
No money, Sue.
Tries to walk.
Oh, Lord, what shall I do? And that blue bottle there buzzing and staring at us like a dead codfish. Bah!
Enter Bill.
Oh, Mattie. Gracious. What's the row, Susan?
She ain't well. Take her other arm, Bill, and help her out of this. We ain't in no Christian country. Pluck up, Mattie, dear.
Come into the talk shop. I'm a customer.
They go towards the shop, exit policeman.
No, Suki. I can't abide the smell of it. Let me sit on the curb for a minute.
Sits down.
Oh, Father.
Never you mind, Mattie. If he were 20 fathers, he shan't come near ye.
Oh, Bill, if you could find him for me, he would take me home.
Now, who would have thought of that? Actually want her own father? I'd run far enough out of the way of mine. And father if he were axing after me.
Oh, me, my side.
It's hunger, poor dear.
Sits down beside her. Bill aside.
This won't do, Bill. I'm ashamed of you, Bill.
Exit.
No, Susan, it's not hunger. It's the old story, Sue.
Mattie, I never... You don't mean to go for to tell me you're breaking of your precious heart about him? It's not your gentleman, surely. It's not him you turn sick about this time of day.
Mattie nods her head listlessly.
What's up fresh, then? You was pretty bobbish when you left me. It's little he thinks of you, I'll be bound.
That's true enough. It's little he ever thought of me. He did say he loved me, though. It's 50 times he did.
Lies, Mattie, all lies.
No, Susan, it wasn't lies. He meant it. At the time. That's what made it look all right. Oh, dear.
But what's come to you now, Mattie? What's fresh in it? You're not turned like this all at once for nothing.
I've seen him.
Seen him? Oh, my, I wish it had been me. I'd ha' seen him. I'd ha' torn his ugly eyes out.
They ain't ugly eyes. They're big and blue, and they sparkle so when he talks to her.
And who's her? You didn't mention a her. Some brazen-faced imperence.
No, the young lady at Mrs. Clifford's.
Ha! See if I do a stitch for her. Shan't I leave a needle in her shimmy just?
What shall I do? All the good's gone out of me, and such a pain here.
Keep in your breath a minute and push your ribs out. It's one on them's got a top of the other.
Such a grand creature, and her colour coming and going like the shadows on the corn. It's no wonder he forgot poor me. But it'll burn itself out before long.
Don't you talk like that, Mattie. I can't bear it.
If I was dressed like her, though, and could get my colour back. But laws, I'm such a washed-out piece of goods beside her.
That's as I say, Matilda. It's the dress makes the differ.
No, Susan, it ain't. It's the free look of them, and the head up, and the white hands, and the taper fingers. They're stronger than us, and they're that trained like that all their body goes in one, like the music at a concert. I couldn't pick up a needle without going down on my knees after it. It's the pain in my side, Sue. Yes, it's a fine thing to be born a lady. It's not the clothes, Sue. If we was dressed ever so, we couldn't come near them. It's that look, I don't know what.
Speak for yourself, Mattie. I'm not a-going to think such small beer of myself, I can tell you. I believe if I'd been took in time...
It's a big if, that, though, Sue. And then she looked so good. You'd hardly think it of me. Perhaps it's because I'm dying. But for 1 minute I could have kissed her very shoes. Oh, my side.
Susan putting her arm tight round her waist.
Does that help it, Mattie dear? A little teeny bit?
Yes, Suki. It holds it together a bit. Will he break her heart too, I wonder?
No fear of that. Ladies take care of themselves. They're brought up to it.
It's only poor girls gentlemen don't mind hurting, I suppose.
It's the ladies' fathers and brothers, Mattie. We've got nobody to look after us.
They may break their hearts, though, for all that.
They won't forgive them like you then, Mattie.
I dare say they're much the same as we are when it comes to that, Sue.
Ha! Don't say me, Mattie. I wouldn't forgive him. No, not if I was to die for it. But what came of it, child?
I made some noise, I suppose, and the lady started.
And then you up and spoke?
I turned sick and fell down.
Oh, poor dear.
She got me a glass of wine, but I couldn't swallow it, and got up and crawled out.
Did he see you?
I think he did.
You'll tell her, in course?
No, Sue. He'd hate me, and I couldn't bear that. Oh, me. My side, it's so bad.
Let's try for home, Mattie. It's a long way, and there's nothing to eat when you're there. But you can lie down, and that's everything to them as can't sit up.
Mattie rising.
I keep fancying I'm going to meet my father.
Let's fancy it then every turn all the way home, and that'll get us along. There, take my arm. There, come along.
Exeunt. Slow music, twilight. Enter Bill with a three-legged stool, brushes, etc.
Come, it's black and all over. When gents can't no longer see their boots, take much use offering to shine 'em. But if I can get a penny, I will. I must take a tot to Mattie, or this here damaged one.
Laying his hand on his stomach.
Won't go to sleep this night.
Enter Waterfield.
Black your boots for a party, sir.
Waterfield aside.
The very rascal I saw her speaking to. But wasn't she a brick not to split? That's what I call devotion now. There are some of them capable of it. I'll set her up for life. I'd give a cool 1,000 it hadn't happened, though. I saw her father, too, hanging about Gervaise's yesterday.
Clean your boots, sir. Shine 'em till they grin like a Cheshire cat eating cheese.
Shine away, you beggar.
Bill turning up his trousers.
I ain't no beggar, sir. Shine for a shiner's fair play.
Do you live in this neighbourhood?
No, sir.
Where then?
Bill feeling where a pocket should be.
I don't appear to have a card about me, sir, but my address is Lamb's Court, Camomile Street. Leastways, I do my sleeping not far off it. I've lived there, what living I have done, since ever I wore anywheres as a nose on.
Do you happen to know the girl of the name of Pearson?
No, sir. I can't say as how I recollect the name. Is she an old girl or a young un?
You young liar! I saw you talking to her not 2 hours ago.
Did you now, sir? That's all, ain't it? Bless you, I talks to everybody. I ain't proud, sir.
Well, do you see this?
Holding up a sovereign.
That's one of them tilings what don't require much seeing, sir. There, bright as the butterfly. T'other twin, sir.
I'll give you this, if you'll do something for me. And another to that when the thing's done.
Tain't stealing, sir.
No.
'Cause you see, Mattie...
Who did you say?
Old Madge as lets the beds at Toppin's a shop night. Tain't stealing, you say, sir.
What do you take me for? I want you to find out for me where the girl Pearson lives. That's all.
Bill snatching the sovereign and putting it in his mouth.
Now then, sir, what's the young woman like?
Rather tall, thin, dark hair, large dark eyes, and long white hands. Her name's Matilda, Mattie Pearson. The girl you were talking to, I'll tell you, on this very spot an hour or two ago.
Bill dropping the sovereign and stooping to find it.
Golly, it is our Mattie.
Shall you know her again?
Any boy as was in the house would know his own grandmother by them spots. Besides, I remember such a gal addressing me this morning. If you say who it was, I'll detect her for you.
There's a good boy. What's your name?
Timothy, sir.
What else?
Never had no other. Leastways as I knows on.
Well, Timothy, there's the other sov, and it's yours the moment you take me to her. Look at it.
My eye. Is she a square mole, sir?
What do you mean by that?
Green you are, to be sure. She ain't one of Steele's or...
Not she. She's a seamstress. A needlewoman or something of the sort.
Then where should I find you, sir?
Let me see. Tomorrow night, on the steps of St. Martin's Church. 10 o'clock.
But if I don't find her, it may be a week, or a month, or...
Come whether you find her or not, and let me know.
All serene, sir. There you are, sir. Brush your trousers, sir.
No, leave 'em. Don't forget now.
Honour bright, sir. Not if I knows it, sir.
There's that other skid, you know.
All right, sir. Anything more, sir?
Damn your impudence. Get along.
Exit. Bill watches him into Mrs. Clifford's.
Now, by all the hungry gums of RBR, here's a swell arter on Mattie. A right regular swell. I knows him. Sovereigns in red socks. What's come to our Mattie? Here's Daddy Longlegs arter, with his penny and his blessing. And here's this here mighty swell with his sovereigns and his red socks. And she's hungry, poor gal. This here yellow boy. I ain't got no faith in swells. No more'n Daddy Longlegs is, I ain't. Supposing he wants to marry her. Not if I knows it. He ain't half good enough for her. Too many quids. Going a flinging on him about like buttons. He's been a cracking on cribs. He has. I ain't a-going to introduce our Mattie to no such blokes as him. Their fathers will love you for me, says I. For this here pebble of paradise, what's to be done with the cherub? I can't tell her a lie about it. And who'll break it up for a cove like me, looking just as if I'd been a-tarring myself and crept through a rag bag? They'd juggle me. And what would Mattie say then? I wish I hadn't dodged it. I'm blowed if I don't toss it over a bridge. Then the gent ain't got the weight on his Donabout on me. Oh Lord, what shall I do with it? I wish I'd skied it in his face. I don't believe it's a good un, I don't.
Bites it.
Phew, it do taste very nasty. It's nothing better than a gilt farden. Just what a cove might look for from such a swill.
Goes to a street lamp and examines it.
Law, there's a bobby.
Exit. Re-enter to the lamp.
I wish the gentleman had given me a penny. I can't do nothing with this here quid. Where am I to put it? I ain't got no pocket. And if I was to stow it in my tater trap, I couldn't wag my red rag. And Mother Madge would soon have me by the chops. Nor I've got nowheres to ply it. Oh Lord, it's all I've got. And Madge lets nobody go to bed without the tuppence. It's all up with Bill. For the night. Where's the odds? There's a first-class hotel by the river. The Adelphi Arches, they calls it. But they'll take me in fast enough. I can go to sleep with it in my cheek. Coves is past talking to you there. Nobody sees me in that air under luxury. He'll take me for a millionaire with a skid in his mouth. Tain't a bit cold tonight, neither.
Going.
Why do they say armed of luxury? I suppose because she's wife to my uncle.
Exit. Slow music. The night passes. A policeman crosses twice. Thomas crosses between. Dawn. Re-enter Bill.
Oh, I'm hanged if this here blasted quid ain't a burning of me like a red hot farden. I'm blessed if I've slept more than half the night. I woke up on set with it a slipping down Red Lane. I wish I had swallowed it. Then nobody had asked me where I got it. I don't wonder his rich clothes turn out such a bad lot. I believe the devil's in this here.
Knocks at Mrs. Clifford's door. James opens. He is shutting it again. Bill shoves in his stool.
Hello, Blazes. Where's your manners? Is that the way you behave to callers on your governor's business?
James half opening the door.
Get about your own business, you imperent boy.
I'm about it now, young man. I wants to see your governor.
You've got business with him, have you, eh?
Amazing precocity. You've hit it. I have got business with him, doorpost. Not in the very smallest with you, doorpost. Except the knife boy's been neglected of your feet bags this morning.
James would slam the door. Bill shoves in his stool.
Don't you try that here little game again, young man. For if I lose my temper and takes to hollering, you'll wish yourself father.
A humbug you are. I ain't got no governor, boy. The master as belongs to me is a mistress.
Then that here gentleman as comes and goes ain't your master, eh?
What gentleman, stupid?
It don't matter.
What have you got to say to him?
Some pickled. He'll keep.
I'll give him a message if you like.
Well, you may tell him the bargain's off, and if he wants his money, it's a waiting of him round the corner.
You little blackguard. Do you suppose a gentleman's going to deliver such a message as that? Be off with you, you imp.
Makes a dart at him. Bill dodging him.
How do you do, clumsy? Don't touch me, I ain't nice. Why, what was you made for, parrot? Is them calves your own rearing now? Is that a quid or a farthing? Have a shot now, shins.
None of your imperence, young blackie. Hand me over the money and I'll give it to the gentleman.
Do you see anything particular green in my eye, Rainbow?
James makes a rush. Bill gets down before him. James tumbles over him. Bill blacks his face with his brush. Bill running a little way.
Ha ha ha! Bill shoe black, he's muck. Who's blacking now? You owes me a penny. 2p. 'Twas such an ugly job. Ain't shiny? I'll come back and shine you for another penny. Good morning, Jim Crow. Take my advice, and don't on no account apply your vinegar afore you've opened your oyster. Likewise, but I don't melt on a cold tater.
Exit. Exit James into the house, banging the door. Enter Waterfield, followed by Bill.
Please, sir, I have been watching for you.
Go to the devil.
I'd rather not. So there's your subbing.
Go along. Meet me where I told you.
I won't. There's your skid.
Be off, or I'll give you in charge. Hey, policeman.
Exit.
Well, I'm blowed. This quid'll be hanging on me. Damn you.
Throws it fiercely on the ground and stamps on it.
Serves me right for chafing the old un. He didn't look a bad sort for a governor. Now I reflects it, I heard Matty spooning on some fire or other afore. Oh, Lord. I'll get Jim and Jack to help me look out for him.
Enter Thomas.
Lord have mercy. Toggy hold on. I'm very particular glad as I found you, Daddy. I have been looking for you. Leastways I was a-going to look for you this very moment as you turns up. Oh, I chaffed you like as a rollick monkey yesterday, Daddy, and I'm very sorry. But you see, fars ain't nice at this here part of the continent.
Enter James in plain clothes, watching them.
They ain't no good now to nobody. If I was a husband and father, I don't know how I should be one myself. Perhaps I might think it were my turn to break arms and legs. And then more than one father's did. It's no wonder the boys is a plaguey lot, Daddy.
Go away, boy. Dost thee hear? I've seen so much wickedness since I've come to Lunnon that I dunnot know whether to break the head or to go with her. There be thieves and there be robbers.
Never fear, Daddy. You ain't worth robbing of, I don't think.
How dost to know that? I've more than I want to lose about me.
For Matty will have somewhat to eat. Will she, Daddy?
Somewhat to eat, boy? Be my Matty hungry, don't you think?
Many and many's the time, Daddy.
Yah, afore a dinner.
And after it too, Daddy.
Oh, Lord, and what does her do when who's hungry?
Grins and bears it. Come and see her, Daddy.
Oh, Lord, my Matty, and nothing to eat. Go on, boy, I'm bound to follow you. Tak me where you like, or go.
Come along then, Daddy.
James collaring him.
Hello, young un. You're the rascal as stole the sovereign. I saw you.
Don't know what you're up to. I never steal nothing.
Oh, no, of course not. What's that in your fist now?
Catches Bill's hand and forces it open.
There.
Bill drops his tool on James' foot, throws up the coin, catches it with his other hand and puts it in his mouth.
There, the like of that. We're a-going with a thief, or were...
Never you mind, Daddy. It were guff to me.
That's what they allers says, sir. You come along. I'd be obliged to you, sir, if you would come too and say you saw him.
Nay, I cannot say I see him steal it.
You saw it in his hand.
Yah, I did.
It was guff to me, I tell you.
Honest boy, this one. Looks like it, don't he, sir? What do you think of yourself, you young devil, a decoying of a grey-haired old gentleman like this? Why, sir, him and his pals would have taken every penny you had about you. Murdered you, they might. I've known as much. It's a good thing I happened to be on the spot. Come along, you bad boy.
I didn't take it, and I won't go.
Come along. They'll change it for you at the lock-up.
You didn't see me steal it. You ain't never going to give me in charge.
Wrong again, young un. That's precisely what I am a-going to do.
Oh, sir, please, sir. I'm an honest boy. It's the Bible truth. I'll kiss 20 books on it.
I won't ax you. Why, sir, he ain't even one of the shoe brigade. He ain't got a red coat. Bless my soul, he ain't even got a box. Nothing but a scrubby pair of brushes as I'm alive. He ain't no shoe black. He's a thief as pretends to black shoes and picks pockets.
You're a liar. I never picked a pocket in my life.
Bad language, you see. What more would you have?
Who'd ever have thought of such wickedness in a boy like that?
I ain't a wicked boy, no.
Nay, don't tha tell me that. Tha mere gammer me, and hurried and scurried me, as if I'd been a mac of a devil, you did.
He's one of the worst boys I know. This Timothy is one of the very worst boys in all London.
Bill aside.
Timothy, eh? Oh, twigs. It's Rainbow by Peter and Paul. Look here, old gentleman. This here's a bad coversant taking advantage of your willingness. I knows him. His master gave me the sovereign. He gave it to me to tell him where your Matty was.
Don't you fancy you're going to take an experienced old gentleman like that with your cock and bull stories? Come along, I say. Hey, police!
Here you are.
Takes the coin from his mouth, rubs it dry on his jacket, and offers it.
I don't want it. Give it to old hunks there. He shan't never see his Matty. I were right to chivvy him after all.
James taking the coin.
Now look here, Timothy. I'm a detective officer, but I won't never be hard on no boy as wants to make a honest living. So you be off. I'll show the old gentleman where he wants to go.
Bill moves 2 paces and takes a sight at him.
The Lord be praised. Dost thou know our Matty then?
It's the duty of a detective officer to know every girl in his beat.
My eye, there's a wonner.
Tap me to her, sir, and I'll pray for you.
I will. And if I catch you nearer than Mile End, I'll give you in charge at once.
Bill bolting 5 yards.
He's a humbug, Daddy, but he'll serve you right. He'll melt you down for taller. He ain't no detective. I know him.
Go away.
Goodbye, Daddy. He don't know you're Mattie. Goodbye, Skellington.
Exit.
Such a boy.
Let me see. You want a girl of the name of Mattie.
Oh, I do, sir.
The name is not an uncommon one. There's Mattie Kent.
Nay, it's none of her.
Then there's Mattie Winchfield.
Nay, it's none of her.
Then there's Mattie Pearson.
Yay, that's who. Where?
Well, it's too far for a man of your age to walk. But I'll call a cab, and we'll go comfortable.
But I can't afford to pay for a cab, as you call it.
You don't suppose I'm going to put an honest man like you to expense?
It's but reasonable I should pay, but thou knows best.
Hey, cab there.
Exeunt. Re-enter Bill following him.
I'll have an eye on him, though. The swellers give me the yellow boy. He's his master. Poor old codger. He'll believe any cove but the one who tells him the truth.
Exit. Enter from the house Mrs. Clifford. Enter from opposite side Colonel Gervaise.
I was just coming to see you, Clara.
And I was going to see you. How's Arthur today? I thought you would have come yesterday.
My poor boy is as dependent on me as if I were not his father. I am very anxious about him. The fever keeps returning.
Fortune seems to have favoured your mad scheme, Walter.
Or something better than fortune.
You have had rare and ample opportunity. You may end the farce when you please, and in triumph.
On the contrary, Clara, it would be nothing but an anticlimax to end what you are pleased to call the farce now. As if I could make a merit of nursing my own boy. I did more for my black servant. I wish I had him here.
You would like to double the watch, would you?
Something has vexed you, Clara.
I never liked the scheme, and I like it less every day.
I have had no chance yet. He has been ill all the time. I wish you could come and see him a little oftener.
He doesn't want me. You are everything now. Besides, I can't come alone.
Why not?
Constance would fancy I did not want to take her.
Then why not take her?
I have my reasons.
What are they?
Never mind.
I insist upon knowing them.
It would break my heart, Walter, to quarrel with you, but I will if you use such an expression.
But why shouldn't you bring Miss Lacordaire with you?
He's but a boy, and it might put some nonsense in his head.
She's a fine girl. You make a friend of her.
She's a good girl, and a ladylike girl, but I don't want to meddle with the bulwarks of society. I hope to goodness they will last my time.
Clara, I begin to doubt whether pride be a Christian virtue.
I see. You'll be a radical before long. Everything is going that way.
I don't care what I am, so I do what's right. I'm sick of all that kind of thing. What I want is bare honesty. I believe I'm a Tory as yet, but I should be a radical tomorrow if I thought justice lay on that side. If a man falls in love with a woman, why shouldn't he marry her?
She may be unfit for him.
How should he fall in love with her then? Men don't fall in love with birds.
It's a risk, a great risk.
None the greater that he pleases himself, and all the more worth taking. I wish my poor boy...
Your poor boy might please himself, and yet not succeed in pleasing you, brother.
Colonel Gervaise aside.
She knows something. I must go and see about his dinner. Goodbye, sister.
Goodbye, then. You will have your own way.
This once, Clara.
Exeunt severally. End of Act 2. Act 3 of If I Had a Father by George MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3. Scene: a garret room. Mattie, Susan.
At the worst, we've got to die some day, Sue. And I don't know but hunger may be as easy a way as another.
I'd rather have a choice, though. and it's not hunger I would choose.
There are worse ways.
Never mind. We don't seem likely to be bothered with choosing.
There's that buttonhole done.
Lays down her work with a sigh and leans back in her chair.
I'll take it to old Nathan. It'll be a chop apiece. It's wonderful what a chop can do to harden you up.
I don't think we ought to buy chops, dear. We must be content with bread, I think.
Bread, indeed.
Well, it's something to eat.
Do you call it eatin' when you see a dog polishing a bone?
Bread's very good with a cup of tea.
Tea, indeed. Fawn colour, trimmed with sky blue. If you'd mentioned lobster salad and sherry now.
I never tasted lobster salad.
I have, though, and I do call lobster salad good. You don't care about your victuals. I do. When I'm hungry, I'm not at all comfortable.
Poor dear Sue. There is a crust in the cupboard.
I can't eat crusts. I want summat nice. I ain't dying of hunger. It's only I'm peckish. Very peckish, though. I could eat... Oh, let me see what I could eat. I could eat a lobster salad, and 2 dozen oysters, and a lump of cake, and the wing and the leg of a chicken. If it was a spring chicken, with water creases round it, and a bath bun, and a sandwich. And in fact, I don't know what I couldn't eat, except just that crust in the cupboard. And I do believe I could drink a whole bottle of champagne.
I don't know what one of those things tastes like. Scarce one. And I don't believe you do either.
Don't I? I never did taste champagne, but I've seen them eatin' lobster salad many a time. Girls not half so good lookin' as you or me, Matty, and fine gentlemen a-waitin' upon them. Oh dear, I am so hungry. Think of having you supper with a real gentleman as talks to you as if you was fit to talk to, not like them Jew tailors as tosses your work about as if it dirtied their fingers, and them none so clean for all their fine rings.
I saw Nathan's Joseph in a pastry cook's last Saturday, and a very pretty girl with him, poor thing.
Oh, the hussy, to let that beast pay for her.
I suppose she was hungry.
I'd die before I let a snob like that treat me. No, Maddie, I spoke of a real gentleman.
Are you sure you wouldn't take Nathan's Joseph for a gentleman if he was civil to you?
Thank you, miss. I know a sham from a real gentleman the moment I set eyes on him.
What do you mean by a real gentleman, Susan?
A gentleman as makes a lady of his girl.
But what sort of lady, Sue? The poor girl may fancy herself a lady, but only till she's left in the dirt. That sort of gentleman makes fine speeches to your face and calls you horrid names behind your back. Sue, dear, don't have a word to say to one of them, if he speaks ever so soft.
Larks, Maddie, they ain't all one sort.
You won't have more than one sort to choose from. They may be rough or civil, good-natured or bad, but they're all the same in this, that not one of them cares a pin more for you than if you was a horse. No, nor half a quarter so much. Don't for God's sake have a word to say to one of them. If I die, Susan.
If you do, Matilda, if you go and do that thing, I'll take to gin. That's what I'll do. Don't say I didn't act fair and tell you beforehand.
How can I help dying, Susan?
I say don't do it, Maddie. We'll fall out if you do. Don't do it, Matilda. La, there's that lumpen Bill again, always a-comin' up the stair when you don't want him.
Enter Bill.
Well, Bill, how have you been getting on?
Pretty tall, Matty. But I can't go on so.
Holds out his tool.
It ain't respectable.
What ain't respectable? Everything's respectable that's honest.
Why, whoever saw a respectable shiner going about with a 3-legged stool full of blacking books? It ain't the thing. The regulars chaps me fit to throw it at their heads, they does. Only there's too many on 'em, and I've got to draw it mild. A box I must have, or the fellow's occupation's gone. Look here. 1 bob, 1 tanner, and a J. There. That's what comes of never condescending to a halfpenny.
Bless us. What mighty fine words we've got a-waitin' on us.
If I have a weakness, Miss Susan, it's for the right word in the right place. As the coster said to the devil dog jazz, blowing him up for profane swearing. When a gentleman offers me a halfpenny, I axes him in the politest manner I can assume, to oblige me by giving of it to the first beggar he may have the good fortune to meet. Some on 'em throws down the halfpenny, most of 'em makes it a penny. But I say, Matty, you don't want nobody arter you, do you now?
I don't know what you mean by that, Bill.
You don't want a father, do you now? Do she, Susan?
We want no father a-hectorin' here, Bill. You ain't seen one about, have you?
I seen a regular swell arter, Matty, anyhow.
What do you mean, Bill?
A regular swell. I repeat it. A half-snart a young woman by the name of Matty.
Susan pulling him aside.
Hold your tongue, Bill. You'll kill her. You young viper. Hold your tongue or I'll twist your neck. Don't you see how white she is?
What was he like? Do tell me, Bill.
A long-legged regular swell, the gold chain, and a cane with a half-rate handle.
He's a bad man, Bill, and Mattie can't abide him. If you tell him where she is, she'll never speak to you again.
Oh, Susan, what shall I do? Don't bring him here, Bill. I shall have to run away again, and I can't, for we owe a week's rent.
There, Bill.
Don't you be afeard, Matty. He shan't touch you. Nor the old one either.
There wasn't an old man with him. Not an old man with a long stick?
Not with him. Daddy was on his own hook.
It must have been my father, Susan.
Sinks back on her chair.
Tain't the least likely. There, Bill. I always said you was no good. You've killed her.
Matty, I didn't tell him where you was.
Mattie reviving.
Run and fetch him, Bill. There's a dear. Oh, how proud I've been. If Mother did say a hard word, she didn't mean it. Not for long. Run, Bill. Run and fetch him.
Matty, I was a-fetching of him, but he wouldn't trust me. And didn't he cut up crusty and calling me tight? He's a game old cock, he is, Matty.
Mattie getting up and pacing about the room.
Oh, Susan, my heart'll break. To think he's somewhere near and I can't get to him. Oh, my side. Don't you know where he is, Bill?
He's somewheres about, and blow me if I don't find him. A respectable old potty in a white pinny, and appeared if he'd go on a walk until he walked himself up starting. A scrumptious old potty.
Had he a stick, Bill?
Yes, a knobby stick. Leastways, a stick with knobs all over it.
That's him, Susan.
I could swear to the stick. I was too near getting at the taste on it not to know it again.
When was it you saw him, Bill?
Yesterday, Matty. Just after he gave me the tart. I saw him again this morning, but he wouldn't place no confidence in me.
Oh, dear, why didn't you come straight to me, Bill?
If I only had known as you wanted him, but that was such an unlikely thing. It's very provoking. I uses my judgment and puts my hoof in it. I'm sorry, Matty, but I didn't know no better.
Crying.
Don't cry, Bill. You'll find him for me yet, won't you?
I'm off this identical minute. But you see...
There, now you mizzle. I don't want no fathers here, goodness knows, but the poor girl's took a fancy to hers, and she'll die if she don't get him. Run now, there's a good boy.
Exit Bill.
You ain't forgotten who's a-comin', Mattie?
No, indeed.
Well, I hope she'll be civil, or I'll just give her a bit of my mind.
Not enough to change hers, I'm afraid. That sort of thing never does any good.
And am I to go a-twiddling of my thumbs and saying, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am? Not if I knows it, Matilda.
You will only make her the more positive in her ill opinion of us.
And what's that to me?
Well, I don't like to be thought a thief. Besides, Mrs. Clifford has been kind to us.
She's paid us for work done. So has old Nathan.
Did old Nathan ever give you a glass of wine when you took home his slops?
Oh, that don't cost much. And besides, she takes it out in Kingdom Come.
You're unfair, Susan.
Well, it's little fairness I get.
And to set that right, you're unfair yourself. What you call speaking your mind is as cheap and as nasty as the worst shoddy old Nathan ever got gobble-stitched into coats and trousers.
Very well, Miss Matilda.
Rising and snatching her bonnet.
The sooner we part, the better. You stick by your fine friends. I don't care that for them.
Snapping her fingers.
And you may tell 'em so. I can make a living without them or you either. Goodness gracious knows it ain't much of a living I've made since I come across you, miss.
Exit. Mattie trying to rise.
Susan! Susan! Ugh!
Lays her head on the table. A tap at the door and enter Mrs. Clifford with James behind. Mattie rises.
Wait on the landing, James.
Yes, Mum.
Exit James, leaving the door a little ajar.
Well, Miss Pearson.
Mattie offers a chair.
No, thank you. That person is still with you, I see.
Indeed, ma'am. She's an honest girl.
She is a low creature and capable of anything. I advise you to get rid of her.
Was she rude on the stair, ma'am?
Rude? Vulgar. Quite vulgar. Insulting.
I am very sorry. But believe me, ma'am, she is an honest girl and never pawned that work. It was done, every stitch of it, and the loss of the money is hard upon us too. Indeed, ma'am, she did lose the parcel.
You have only her word for it. If you don't give her up, I give you up.
I can't, ma'am. She might go into bad ways if I did.
She can't well get into worse. Her language, you would do ever so much better without her.
I daren't, ma'am. I should never get it off my conscience.
Your conscience, indeed.
Rising.
I wish you a good morning, Miss Pearson.
Sound of a blow followed by scuffling.
What is that? I fear I have got into an improper place.
Susan bursts in.
Yes, ma'am, and that you have. It's a very improper place for the likes of you, ma'am, as believes all sorts of wicked things of people as is poor. Who are you to bring your low flunkies a-listening at honest girls' doors?
Turning to James in the doorway.
Get out, will you? Let me catch you here again, and I'll mark you that the devil wouldn't know his own. You dirty Paul Pry, you.
Falls on her knees to Mattie.
Mattie, you angel.
Mattie trying to make her get up.
Never mind, it's all right between you and me, Susan.
I see. I thought as much.
Susan starting up.
As much as what then, my lady? Oh, I know you and your sort well enough. We're the dirt under your feet. Lucky if we stick to your shoes. But this room's mine.
That linen was mine, young woman, I believe.
And it's for that miserable parcel you come a-talking and abusing as no lady ought to? How dare you look that angel in the face there and say she stole it, which you're not fit to lace her boots for her? There.
Susan, Susan, do be quiet.
It's all very well for the likes of me.
Courtesying spitefully.
Which I'm no better than I should be, and a great deal worse if I'm on my oath to your ladyship. That's neither here nor there. But she's better than a van-load of sich ladies as you, prying into other people's houses with your Bibles and your religion and your flunkies. I know ye. I do.
Don't, Susan.
Why don't you go and pay tuppence a week to somebody to learn ye good manners? I been better brought up myself.
I see I was wrong. I ought at once to have handed the matter over to the police.
The police, indeed. You get out of this, ma'am, or I'll make you. You and your cowardly man pup there, as is afraid to look me in the face through the crack of the door. Get out, I say, with your insolence. That's your word.
Exit Mrs. Clifford.
Susan, Susan, what is to become of us?
She daren't do it, the old Scrooge. But just let her try it on. See if I don't show her up afore the magistrate. Mattie, I'll work my fingers to the bone for you. I would do worse, only you won't let me. I'll go to the court and tell the magistrate you're a dyin' of hunger, which it's as true as gospel.
They'd send me to the workhouse, Suki.
There must be some good people somewheres, Mattie.
Yes, if we could get at them. But we can live till we die, Suki.
I'll go and list for a soldier. I will. Women had done it afore. It's quite respectable, so long as they don't find you out, and they shouldn't me. There's never one o' the redcoats will cut up rougher 'n I shall, barn the beard, and that don't go for much nowadays.
And what should I do without you, Susan?
Do you care to have me, then?
That I do, indeed. But you shouldn't have talked like that to Mrs. Clifford. Ladies ain't used to such words. They sound worse than they are. Quite dreadful to them. She don't know your kind heart as I do. Besides, the look of things is against us, ain't it now? Say yourself.
Susan starting up.
I'll go and beg her pardon. I'll go directly. I will. I swear I will. I can't bear her, but I'll do it. I believe hunger has nigh drove me mad.
It takes all the madness out of me. No, Susan. We must bear it now. Come along. We can be miserable just as well working. There's your sleeve. I'll thread your needle for you. Don't cry, there's a dear.
I will cry. It's all I ever could do to my own mind, and it's all as is left me. But if I could get my claws on that lovey of yours, I wouldn't cry then. He's at the bottom of it. I don't see myself what's the use of fallin' in love. One man's as much of a fool as another to me. But you must go to bed. You ain't fit. You'll be easier when you've got your frock off. There. Why, child, you're all of a tremble. And no wonder. With nothing on her blessed body but her frock and her shimmy.
Don't take off my frock, Sue. I must get on with my work.
Lie down a bit anyhow. I'll lie at your back, and you'll soon be as warm as a toast.
Mattie lays down.
Oh, Lord, she's dead. Her heart stopped beating.
Runs out of the room. A moment of silence. A tap at the door. Constance peeps in, then enters with a basket.
Miss Pearson, she's asleep.
Goes near.
Good heavens!
Lays her hand on her.
No.
Takes a bottle from her basket, finds a cup, and pours into it.
Take this, Miss Pearson. It will do you good. There now. You'll find something else in the basket.
I don't want anything. I had so nearly got away. Why did you bring me back?
Life is good.
It is not good. How dare you do it? Why keep a miserable creature alive? Life ain't to us what it is to you. The grave is the only place we have any right to.
If I could make your life worth something to you.
You make my life worth to me. You don't know what you're saying, miss.
Sitting up.
I think I do.
I will not owe my life to you. I could love you, though. Your hands are so white, and your look so brave. That's what comes of being born a lady. We never have a chance.
Miss Pearson, Mattie, I would call you if you wouldn't be offended.
Me offended, miss? I've not got life enough for it. I only want my father and my mother, and a long sleep. If I had been born rich...
You might have been miserable all the same. Listen, Mattie, I will tell you my story. I was once as badly off as you. Worse in some ways. Ran about the streets without shoes to my feet, and hardly a frock to cover me.
Law, miss, you don't say so. It's not possible. Look at you.
Indeed, I tell you the truth. I know what hunger is, too, well enough. My father was a silk weaver in Spitalfields. When he died, I didn't know where to go, but a gentleman—
Oh, a gentleman. Why couldn't you be content with one, then?
I don't understand you.
I dare say not. There, take your basket. I'll die afore a morsel passes my lips. There, go away, miss.
Constance aside.
Poor girl, she's delirious. I must ask William to fetch a doctor.
Exit.
I wish my hands were as white as hers.
Enter Susan, followed by Colonel Gervaise, Constance behind.
Maddie, dear Maddie, this gentleman, don't be vexed. I couldn't help him being a gentleman. I was crying that bad, and I didn't see no one come up to me, and when he spoke to me, it made me jump, and I couldn't help answering of him. He spoke so civil and soft-like, and me nigh mad. I thought he was dead, Maddie. He says he'll see us righted, Maddie.
I'll do what I can if you will tell me what's amiss.
Oh, everything's amiss, everything. Who was that went out, Maddie, this minute as we come in?
Miss Lacordaire.
Her imperence. Well, I should die of shame if I was her.
She's an angel, Susan. There's her basket. I told her to take it away, but she would leave it.
Susan peeping into the basket.
Oh my, ain't this nice? You must have a bit, Maddie.
Not one mouthful. You wouldn't have me, Susan.
I ain't so particular.
Eating a great mouthful.
You really must, Maddie.
Goes on eating.
Don't tease her. We'll get something for her presently. And don't you eat too much all at once.
I think she'd like a chop, sir. Ah, there's that boy Bill again. Always when he ain't wanted.
Enter Bill. Bill aside to Susan.
What's the row? What's the egg gent up to? I've been and had enough of gents. They're a bad lot. I've been too much for one on 'em, though. I have run him down. And Mattie, I found the old gentleman.
My father, Bill?
That's it precisely. Right as a trivet he is.
Susan, take hold of me. My heart's going again.
Lord, what's up with Mattie? She do look dreadful.
You been and upset her, you clumsy boy. Here, run and fetch a sausage or two, and
No, that will never do.
Them's for Bill and me, sir. I was a-going on, sir. And Bill, a chop, a nice chop. But Lord, how are we to cook it, with never a frying pan or a bit of fire to set it on?
You'd never think of doing a chop for an invalid in the frying pan?
Certainly not, sir. We ain't got one. Everything's up the spout and over the top. Run, Bill. A bit of cold chicken and 2 pints of bottled stout. There's the money the gentleman give me. 'Tain't no Miss Lacordaires, Maddie.
I'll trouble no gentleman to provide for my family. I'll bleach all the same, sir. Mattie never was a dob at Devorah, but I'll get her something to some. I favour scrub myself.
I'll go with you, Bill. I want to talk to you.
Well, I ain't no objection. So be you wants to talk friendly, sir.
Good night. I'll come and see you tomorrow.
God bless you, sir. You've saved both on our lives. I was a-going to drown myself, Mattie. I really was this time. Wasn't I, sir?
Well, you look like it. That is all I can say. You shall do it next time, so far as I'm concerned.
I won't never no more again, sir. Not if Maddie don't drive me to it.
Constance to Colonel Gervaise.
Come back for me in a little while.
Yes, miss. Come, Bill.
Exit.
All right, sir. I'm a-following, as the cat said to the pigeon.
Exit.
I'll just go and get you a cup of tea. Mrs. Jones's kettle's sure to be a-bilin'. That's what you would like.
Exit. Constance steps aside and Susan passes without seeing her.
Oh, to be a baby again in my mother's arms. But it'll soon be over now.
Constance comes forward.
I hope you're a little better now.
You're very kind, miss, and I beg your pardon for speaking to you as I did.
Don't say a word about it. You didn't quite know what you were saying. I'm in trouble myself. I don't know how soon I may be worse off than you.
Why, miss, I thought you were going to be married.
No, I am not.
Why, miss, what's happened? He's never going to play you false, is he?
I don't mean ever to speak to him again.
What has he done to offend you, miss?
Nothing, only I know now I don't like him. To tell you the truth, Mattie, he's not a gentleman.
Not a gentleman, miss? How dare you say so?
Do you know anything about him? Did you ever see him?
Yes.
Where?
Oh, once at your house.
Oh, I remember that time. I begin to... It couldn't be at the sight of him you fainted, Mattie. You knew him? Tell me, make me sure of it.
To give you your revenge? No, it's a mean spite to say he ain't a gentleman.
Perhaps you and I have different ideas of what goes to make a gentleman.
Very likely.
Oh, don't be vexed, Mattie. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Oh, I dare say.
If you talk to me like that, I must go.
I never asked you to come.
Well, I did want to be friendly with you. I wouldn't hurt you for the world.
Mattie bursting into tears.
I beg your pardon, miss. I'm behaving like a brute. But you must forgive me. My heart is breaking.
Poor dear.
Kissing her.
So is mine, almost. Let us be friends. Where's Susan gone?
To fetch me a cup of tea. She'll be back directly.
Don't let her say bad words. I can't bear them. I think it's because I was so used to them once. In the streets, I mean. Not at home. Never at home.
She don't often, miss. She's a good-hearted creature. It's only when hunger makes her cross. She don't like to be hungry.
I should think not, poor girl.
Don't mind what she says, please. If you say nothing, she'll come all right. When she's spoken her mind, she feels better. Here she comes.
Re-enter Susan. It begins to grow dark.
Well, and who have we got here?
Miss Lacordaire, Suki.
There's no lack a dare about her to come here.
It's very kind of her to come, Susan.
I tell you what, miss, that parcel was stole. It was stole, miss. Stole from me, and that angel there a-dying in the street.
I'm quite sure of it, Susan. I never thought anything else.
Not but I allow it was a pity, miss. I'm very sorry. But bless you.
Lighting a candle.
With all your fine clothes. My, you look like a theatre queen. You do, miss. If you was to send them up the spout now. My, what a lot they'd let you have on that silk.
The shawl is worth a good deal, I believe. It's an Indian one, all needlework.
And the beautiful silk. Laws, miss, just shouldn't I like to wear a frock like that? I should be hard up before I pledged that. But the shawl, if I was you, miss, I would send most everything up before that. Things inside, you know, miss, where it don't matter so much.
Constance laughing.
The shawl would be the first thing I should part with. I would rather be nice inside than out.
Lawk, miss, I shouldn't wonder if that was one of the differs now. Well, I never. It ain't seen. It must be one o' the differs.
What differs? I don't understand you.
The differs between girls and ladies. Girls like me, and real ladies like you.
Oh, I see. But how dark it has got. What can be keeping William? I must go at once, or what will my aunt say? Would you mind going with me a little bit, Susan?
I'll go with pleasure, miss.
Just a little way, I mean, till we get to the wide streets. You couldn't lend me an old cloak, could you?
I ain't got one stitch, miss, but what I stand up in. 'Cept it be a hot glove, and I've a pocket handkercher. Nobody will know you.
But I oughtn't to be out-dressed like this.
You've only got to turn up your skirt over your head, miss.
Constance drawing up her skirt.
I never thought of that.
Well, I never.
What's the matter?
Only the whiteness o' the linin' as took my breath away, miss. It ain't no use turnin' of it up. You look like a lady, whatever you do to hide it. But never mind, that ain't no disgrace so long as you don't look down on the rest of us. There, miss, there you are, fit for a play. Come along, I'll take care of you. Logs, I'm as good as a man, I am.
Goodbye then, Mattie.
Goodbye, miss. God bless you.
Exeunt. End of Act 3. Act 4 of If I Had a Father by George MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4, Scene, the studio. Enter Colonel Gervaise, walks about restless and eager.
Thank heaven, if Bill has found Mr. Warren now.
Exit. Enter Warren.
What can the fellow be up to? There's something odd about him. Something I don't like. But it can't mean mischief when he sends for me. Where could Gervaise have picked him up? Nobody here?
Re-enter Colonel Gervaise and hurries to him with outstretched hand.
My dear sir, I am greatly obliged to you. This is very kind.
Warren stepping back.
Excuse me. I do not understand.
I beg your pardon. I ought to have explained.
I believe something of the sort is necessary.
You are my master's friend.
I should be proud of the honour. Can I be of any service to him?
I believe I can trust you. I will trust you. I am his father.
Whose father? Beelzebub's?
Arthur's, your friend Gervaise's. I am Sir Walter Gervais. You must help me to help him.
Warren regards him for a moment.
Sir Walter, I owe your son much. You nothing yet. I am his friend.
There is not a moment to lose. Listen. An old man came about the place a few weeks ago looking for his daughter. He has been got out of the way, but I have learned where he is. I want you to bring him in.
I would serve your son blindfold. You must excuse me if I wish to understand first.
Arthur is in trouble. He has a secret. God forgive me. I feared it was a bad one.
You don't know him as I do.
I know him now, and can help him. Only I can't prove anything yet. I must have the old man. I found his daughter and suspect the villain. If I can bring the three together, all will come out sure enough. The boy I sent for you will take you to the father. He will trust you and come.
Bell rings.
I must go to Arthur now.
Exit.
What a strange old fellow. An officer, and disguise himself.
Enter Bill.
Here you are, sir.
No vast amount of information in that statement, my boy.
Well, sir, here I are, sir.
That is a trifle more to the point, though scarcely requiring mention.
Then here we are, sir.
That'll do. If you know what comes next.
I do, sir.
Go on, then.
Here goes. Come along, sir. You'll have to take a bobby, though.
We'll see about that. You go on.
Exeunt. Enter Gervaise, followed by Colonel Gervaise.
What a time you have been, William.
I'm sorry, sir. Did you want anything?
No, but I don't like to be left. You're the only friend I have.
Thank you, sir. A man must do his duty. But it's a comfort when his colonel takes notice of it.
Is it all from duty, William? Yet why should I look for more? There was a little girl I tried to do my duty by once. My head's rather queer still, William.
Is there anything to be done, sir?
No, it's here.
Putting his hand to his head.
Inside.
I meant about the little girl, sir. I can keep dark as well as another. When there's anything on one man's mind, sir, good or bad, it's a relief to mention it. If you could trust me...
A pause.
Men have trusted their servants and not repented it.
No doubt, no doubt. But there is no help for me.
You cannot be sure of that, sir.
You would help me if you could, I believe.
God knows I would, sir. To the last drop of my blood.
That's saying much, William. A son couldn't say more. No, nor a father either.
Oh, yes, he could, sir.
And mean it?
Yes.
If I had a father, William, I would tell him all about it. I was but 2 years old when he left me.
Then you don't remember him, sir?
I often dream about him, and then I seem to remember him.
What is he like, sir? In your dreams, I mean.
I never see him distinctly. I try hard sometimes, but it's no use. If he would but come home. I feel as if I could bear anything then. But I'm talking like a girl.
Where is your father, sir?
In India.
A soldier, sir?
Yes, Colonel Gervaise. You must have heard of him. Sir Walter he is now.
I've heard of him, sir. Away in the north parts he's been, mostly.
Yes. How I wish he would come home. I would do everything to please him. I have it, William. I'll go to India. I did think of going to Garibaldi, but I won't. I'll go to India. I must find my father. Will you go with me?
Willingly, sir.
Is there any fighting there now?
Not at present, I believe.
That's a pity. I would have listed in my father's regiment, and then, that is, by the time he found me out, he wouldn't be ashamed of me. I've done nothing yet. I'm nobody yet. And what could he do with a son that was nobody? A great man like him. A fine son I should be. A son ought to be worthy of his father. Don't you think so, William?
That wouldn't be difficult, sir. I mean with most fathers.
Ah, but mine, you know, William. Are you good at the cut and thrust?
Pretty good, sir, I believe.
Then we'll have a bout or two. I've got rusty. Have I said anything odd, I mean, since I've been ill?
Nothing you need mind, sir.
I'm glad of that. I feel as if...
Putting his hand to his head.
William, what could you do for a man, if he was your friend? No, I mean, if he was your enemy.
I daren't say, sir.
Is the sun shining?
Yes, sir. It's a lovely day.
What a desert the sky is, so dreary and wide and waste. Ah, if I could but creep into a hole in a tree and feel it closing about me. How comfortable those toads must feel.
Colonel Gervaise aside.
He's getting light-headed again. I must send for the doctor.
Exit.
But the tree would rot, and the walls grow thin, and the light come through. It is crumbling now, and I shall have to meet her. And then the wedding. Oh, my God.
Starts up and paces about the room.
It is the only way. My pistols, I think. Yes.
Goes to a table, finds his keys, and unlocks a case.
There they are. I may as well have a passport at hand.
Loading one.
The delicate thunder tube.
Turns it over lovingly.
Solitude and silence. One roar and then rest. No, no rest. Still the demon to fight, but no eyes to meet and brave. Who is that in the street? She is at the door. With him.
Enter Colonel Gervaise and seizes his arm. Gervaise with a cry.
You've killed my Psyche.
Goes to the clay and lifts the cloth.
There's the bullet hole through her heart.
It might have been worse, sir.
Worse? I've killed her. See where she flies. She's gone. She's gone.
Bursts into tears. Colonel Gervaise leads him to the couch.
Thank you, William. I couldn't help it. That man was with her. I meant it for myself.
Who did you say was with her?
You mustn't heed what I say. I am mad.
A knock. He starts up.
Don't let them in, William. I shall rave if you do.
Colonel Gervaise catches up the pistols and exits hurriedly. Gervaise throws himself on the couch. Re-enter Colonel Gervaise.
He is in love with her. Everything proves it. My boy, my boy.
Father! Father! Oh, William, I was dreaming, and took you for my father. I must die, William, somehow. There must be some way out of this. The doors can't all be locked.
There's generally a chance to be had, sir. There's always a right and a wrong fighting out somewhere. There's Garibaldi in the field again. Die by the hand of an enemy, if you will die, sir.
Gervaise smiling.
That I couldn't, William. The man that killed me would be my best friend. Yes, Garibaldi. I don't deserve it, though. He fights for his country. I should fight but for death. Only a man doesn't stop when he dies, does he, William?
I trust not, sir. But he may hope to be quieter. That is, if he dies honestly. It's grand for a soldier. He sweeps on the roaring billows of war into soundless haven. Think of that, sir.
Why, William, how you talk! Yes, it would be grand. On the crest of the war cataract, heading a cavalry charge. Tomorrow, William, I shall be getting stronger all the way. We'll start tomorrow.
Wherefore, sir?
For Italy, for Garibaldi. You'll go with me?
To the death, sir.
Yes, that's it. That's where I'm going. But not today. Look at my arm. It wouldn't kill a rat. You saved my life, but I'm not grateful. If I was dead, I might be watching her out of the lovely silence. My poor Psyche.
She's none the worse, sir. The pistol didn't go off.
Ah, she ought to have fallen to pieces long ago. You've been seeking to keep her shroud wet, but it's no matter. Let her go. Earth to earth and dust to dust. The law of nature, and art too.
Exit into the house. Colonel Gervaise following him.
I mustn't lose sight of him. Here he comes again, thank God.
Catches up a coat and begins brushing it. Re-enter Gervaise.
I don't like to see you doing that.
Why shouldn't I serve my own superior, sir? Anything's better than serving yourself. And that's what everyone does who won't serve other people.
You are right. And it's so cheap.
And so nasty.
Right again, William. Right indeed. You're a gentleman. If there's anything I could help you in, anything gone wrong, any friends offended, I'm not altogether without influence.
Colonel Gervaise aside.
He will vanquish me with my own weapons.
But you will go to Garibaldi with me?
I will, sir.
And ride by my side?
Of course.
If you ride by me, you will have to ride far.
I know, sir, but if you would be fit for fighting, you must come and have something to eat and drink.
All right. A soldier must obey. I shall begin by obeying you. Only mind you keep up with me.
Exit, leaning on Colonel Gervaise. Enter Thomas.
The dole mun be here. We're main trouble to get shut of they ravers. I'm allus i trouble. Mine's a gradely head it be. Oi, nobody here. Seems to me honest men can be scarce i Lunnon. I'm bound to believe nobody but my own ears and my own old lass.
Exit. Re-enter Gervaise, followed by Colonel Gervaise.
No, William, I won't lie down. I feel much better. Let's have a bout with the foils.
Very well, sir.
Aside.
A little of that will go far, I know.
Gets down the foils.
And, William, you must set a block up here. I shall have a cut or two at it tomorrow. There's a good cavalry weapon up there, next that cast of Davis's arm.
Suppose your father were to arrive just after you had started.
I shouldn't mind. I don't want to see him yet. I'm such a poor creature. The heart seems to have gone out of me. You see, William.
Enter Mrs. Clifford.
Ah, how do you do, Aunt?
What's this nonsense about Garibaldi, Arthur?
Who told you?
You don't mean it's true?
Quite true, Aunt.
Really, Arthur, you are more of a scatterbrain than I took you for.
Don't say that, Aunt. I only take after my father.
Don't talk to me of your father. I have no patience with him. A careless, hard-hearted fellow, not worthy the name of a father.
She glares at Sir Walter.
You may go, William.
Colonel Gervaise retires slowly.
Aunt, you have been a mother to me, but were you really my mother, I must not listen to such words of my father. He has good reasons for what he does, though I admit there is something in it we don't understand. If I could but understand how Constance—
What do you say? What was that about Constance?
Oh, nothing, Aunt. I was only thinking how difficult it is to understand people.
If you mean Constance, I agree with you. She is a most provoking girl.
Gervaise smiling.
I'm sorry to hear that, Aunt.
I am very glad you were never so silly as to take a fancy to the girl. She would have led you a pretty dance, if you saw how she treats that unfortunate Waterfield. But what's bred in the bone won't out of the flesh.
There's nothing bred in her I would have out, aunt.
Perhaps she originated her vulgarity. That is a shade worse.
Vulgarity, aunt? I cannot remember the meaning of the word when I think of her.
If you choose to insult me, Arthur?
Exit.
It is high time I were gone, if I should be called in now to settle matters between... William! William! William!
Enter Colonel Gervaise.
Tomorrow, William. Not a word. If you will go with me, I shall be glad. If you will not, I shall go without you.
Exit.
Yes, sir. I wish Warren were here with the old man. I don't know what to do till he comes.
Enter Constance.
I thought my aunt was here, William.
No, miss. She was here, but she's gone again.
Could I see Mr. Gervais for a moment?
Certainly, miss. I'll tell him.
Is he still determined on going, William?
Yes, miss. Tomorrow, he says.
Tomorrow?
Yes, miss. I think he means to start for Dover in the morning.
What am I to do?
What's the matter, miss?
What can I do? I know he is angry with me. I don't quite know why. I wish I had never... I can't help it now. My heart will break.
Don't let him go to Dover tomorrow, miss.
He would have listened to me once. He won't now. It's all so different. Everything has gone wrong somehow.
Do try to keep him from going, miss.
He would but think me forward. I could bear anything better than have him think ill of me.
No fear of that, miss. The danger is all the other way.
What other way, William?
He thinks you don't care a bit about him.
Exit. Constance drops on the dais, nearly under the veiled Psyche. Enter Gervais and stands a moment regarding her.
Constance.
Constance starting up and flying to him with her hands clasped.
Arthur, Arthur, don't go. I can't bear you to go. It's all my fault, but do forgive me. Oh, do, dear Arthur. Don't go tomorrow. I shall be miserable if you do.
But why, why, Constance?
I was your Constance once.
But why should I not go? Nobody wants me here.
Oh, Arthur, how can you be so cruel? Can it be that? Do say something. If you won't say anything, how can I know what you are thinking, what you wish? Perhaps you don't like... I won't. Oh, Arthur, do say something.
I have nothing to say, Constance.
Then I have lost you altogether. I dare say I deserve it. I hardly know. God help me. What can I have done so very wicked? Oh, why did you take me out of the streets? I should have been used to them by this time. They are terrible to me now. No, Arthur, I thank you with my very soul. What might I not have been by this time? But I used to lie in that corner, and I daren't now.
Enter Colonel Gervais behind.
It was a happy time, for I had not offended you then. Goodbye. Won't you say one word to me? You will never see me again.
She pauses a moment, then exits, weeping by the back door behind the Psyche. Colonel Gervais follows her.
How could she love that fellow?
Looking up.
Gone? Gone. My Constance. My Psyche. I've driven her into the wild street. Oh, my God. William! Constance! Which door? I won't go, Constance. I won't. I will do anything you ask me. What was that she said? Goodbye. God in heaven. William, you idiot, where are you? William!
He rushes out by the front door. Re-enter Colonel Gervais by the back door.
It was lucky I met Bill. He's after her like the wind. That message will bring her back, I think. I could trust that boy with anything. But where is he?
Enter Thomas.
What, friend, here at last. Thank God. Just sit down a moment, will you?
Peeps into the room of the study.
He's not there. I heard him calling this moment. Perhaps he's in the house. Did you leave the door open, sir?
Nay, th' door open. I say somebody run out as I come up.
My boy, it will kill him. Stop here till I come back.
Rushes out.
I cannot stop. I'm tired enough, God knows, to stop anyways. My head goes round and round, and I'd fain lie me down. But I must be going. Nobody can tell what may be coming to my Mattie. I mun go look. Ah, they couldn't keep me, old man as I were. But I wish I had a word with Mon first.
Enter Warren.
This must be the old fellow himself. Here he is, after all.
Peeps into the room.
There be nobody there, sir. The maester's run out, and th' mon after him.
Run out?
Oh, never says what I done at Main. And I'm glad you are there, sir. For William, he told me to stay till he come back, but I've not geet so much time to spare, and so be's you're a friend of th' maester's, you'll maybe mind th' shop a small bit. I mun go.
Going.
I say, old man, your name's Thomas Pearson, ain't it?
Aye. Oh, yeah. But here comes to know my name.
I know all about you.
Everybody knows everybody here. I cannot stir a foot for folks as knows me, and knows my name, and knows what I'll be after. Lunnon is a dreadful place. I mun geet my lass to home. You'll mind th' shop until th' maester comes back. Good night.
Going. Warren stopping him.
They want to hear a bit. You'd better stop. The man will be back directly. You're too suspicious.
Nay, maester, that's wrong there. I've trusted too much, 1,000 times too much.
You trusted the wrong people, then.
It takes no mack o' a warlock to tell me that, maester. It's small comfort nother.
Well now, you give me a turn, and hear what I've got to say.
You're all tarred with same stick. Everybody makes scan of the poor old mon. Let me go, maester. I wants my chilt, my Mattie.
You must wait till Mr. Gervaise's man comes back.
Thomas despairingly.
Oh, Lord, the peck of sunbrunt lies they have been telling me sin' I come here, children all.
Have patience, man. You won't repent it.
What mun be, mun. I cannot have patience, but I couldn't stop. I'd rather go, though. I'm none sorry to rest, neither.
Sits down on the dais. Enter Bill.
Here, boy. Don't let the old man go till someone comes.
Exit.
All right, sir. Hello, Daddy. There you are, thank God.
What for, boy? Will he give me my Mattie again, dost to think?
That he will, Daddy. You come along and you'll know an honest boy next time. I can't till I see Mr. William, though.
If that means the maester's money is run out, and I cannot go with all, I'm keeping th' shop till he come back, and I dunnot much care to go with all. I dunnot much trust, though. The Lord have a care of me. I dunnot know which to trust and which not to trust, but I mun wait for Maister William as you call him.
All right, Daddy. Don't you stir from here till I come back. Not for nobody. No, not for Joseph.
I dunnot know no Joseph.
I'll soon let you see I'm an honest boy. As you can't go to Mattie, I'll bring Mattie to you. See if I don't. And if she ain't the right un, I'll take her back and charge you nothing for carriage. Can't say fairer than that, Daddy.
Bless them, my boy. Dost to mean it true?
Yes, and that you'll see, afore you're half an hour older, Daddy. When Mr. Williams comes, you say to him, Bill's been all right.
I dunnot like secrets, lad. What done you mean? Everybody seems to mean something and nobody to see it.
Never you mind, Daddy. Bill's been all right. That's your ticket. I'm off.
Exit. Thomas gets up and walks about, murmuring to himself. A knock at the door.
Somebody after me again. Or get out of the way.
Goes behind the psyche. Enter Waterfield.
Nobody here. I am unlucky. Not at home, said the rascal, and grinned, by Jove. I'll be at the bottom of this. There's no harm in Gervaise. He's a decent fellow.
Knocks at the door of Gervaise's room.
I won't leave the place till I've set things right. Not if I've got to give him a post-obit for 5,000, I won't. Nobody there?
Looks in.
No. Then I'll go in and wait.
Exit. Thomas peeping from behind the psyche.
That's the villain. Lord o' mercy, that's the villain. If O're as strong as O'm out, O'd scrunch his yed, O would. O'm sure it's the mon. He kept out of my way, but O're say him once. Oh Lord, keep my hands off of him. O'm met kill him. O'm sartin sure of him when I see him. O'll not go nigh him till somebody comes, 'cept he runs away. O'm no afraid of him, but I may not be able to keep my out of him. Oh, my Mattie, to leave the owd feyther for such a mac of a mon as yon. But here comes somebody more.
Goes behind the psyche. Enter Mrs. Clifford.
No one here? She can never be in his room with him.
Opens the door.
Oh, Mr. Waterfield, you're here, are you?
Waterfield coming to the door.
Mrs. Clifford, this is indeed an unexpected pleasure.
Have you got Constance with you there?
I've no such good fortune.
Where is she then?
At home, I presume?
Indeed she is not. I must speak to Arthur.
He's not here.
Where's his man then?
Taken himself off to the public house, I suppose. There's nobody about. Odd, ain't it?
I'll go and see.
Exit into the house.
What can be the row? There is some row.
Exit into the room. Enter Gervais, supported by Colonel Gervaise.
Thank God! Thank God!
But where is she? I shall go mad if you've told me a lie.
I saw her and sent a message after her. We shall have news of her presently. Do have a little patience, sir.
How can I have patience? I'm a brute, a mean, selfish devil. If that fellow Waterfield was to horsewhip me, I should let him.
Thomas coming forward.
There were that young chap here a while ago, and he said what to say to Mr. William. What were it to say? Yah, it were Bill's been, all right.
There, sir, I told you so. Do sit down. I'll go after her.
I will, only make haste.
Stands staring at the psyche.
The boy said he'd be here directly.
You sit down, I'll be with you presently.
Thomas retiring behind the psyche.
Oh, none likely to go, maester.
Enter Mrs. Clifford, crosses to room door, enter Waterfield, they talk.
William, I don't want them.
Retreats towards the psyche.
Sit here one moment, sir.
Leads him to the dais, advances to Mrs. Clifford. Mrs. Clifford trying to pass him.
Arthur, what can...
Colonel Gervaise intercepting her.
Let him rest a bit, ma'am, if you please. He's been out for the first time.
At night? And in a fog? A pretty nurse you are. Poor boy.
Mr. Waterfield, sir, would you mind stepping into the room again for a moment?
Exit Waterfield.
Mrs. Clifford, ma'am, would you please get a glass of wine for master?
Exit Mrs. Clifford into the house.
William!
Yes, sir.
Send him away. Don't let him stop there. I have nothing to say to him.
He shan't trouble you, sir. I'll take care of that.
Goes behind the psyche to Thomas, but keeps watching the door of the room.
Did you see the man that went in there just now?
Thomas with anxiety.
He winna jump out of the window, dost thou think, lad?
Re-enter Mrs. Clifford with wine. Gervais drinks.
Why should he do that? Do you know anything about him?
I do.
Has he seen you here?
No, or afeard he'd run away, nor keep it snug.
I needn't ask who it is, then.
You needn't, lad.
Enter Waterfield.
My conscience, he'll pike out afore I get out on him.
Rushes out and seizes Waterfield. Enter Mattie and Bill.
That's a dommed villain. Where's my Mattie?
Waterfield knocks Thomas down.
Oh, Lord! This Will's murdered old Daddy!
All but Gervais rush together. Colonel Gervais seizes Waterfield. Mattie throws herself on her knees beside Thomas and lifts his head.
Father! Look at me. It's Mattie, your own wicked Mattie. Look at her once, father dear.
Lays down his head in despair and rises.
Who struck the good old man?
He did. The swelter's give me the good sov.
Mr. Watkins!
I haven't the honour of the gentleman's acquaintance. I'm not Mr. Watkins, am I now?
To Colonel Gervaise.
Ah! Let go, I say. I'm not the man. It's all a mistake, you see.
In good time, I might make a worse. Watkins mayn't be your name, but Watkins is your nature.
Damn your insolence! Let me go, I tell you.
Struggles threatening.
Gently, gently, young man. If I gave your neckcloth a twist now...
Yes, there is a mistake, and a sad one for me. A wretch that would strike an old man. Indeed, you are not what I took you for.
You hear the young woman? She says it's all a mistake. My good girl, I'm sorry for the old gentleman, but he oughtn't to behave like a ruffian. Really now, you know, a fellow can't stand that sort of thing. A downright assault. I'm sorry I struck him, though. Devilish sorry. I'll pay the damage with pleasure.
Puts his hand in his pocket. Mattie turning away.
And not a gentleman.
Kneels by Thomas and weeps. Thomas feebly.
Dunnot great, Mattie, my chilt. I'm all right. Let the mun go. What's he to thou, me? By the mass, I'm strong enough to lick him yet.
Trying to rise, but falling back.
My bones would rather not. It's no blame sure to an old man to fore tired of fating.
Mattie taking his head on her lap.
Father, forgive me. I'm all yours. I'll go home with you and work for you till I drop. Oh, Father, how could I leave you for him? I don't care one bit for him now. I don't indeed. You'll forgive me, won't you, Father?
Oh, do, my Mattie. Come warm.
Will Mother forgive me, Father?
Thee mother, chilt. Who's forgiven thee long afore? Ever so long ago, chilt. Thee mother may talk loud, but her heart is as soft as a parrot. Thou knows it, Mattie.
All this is very interesting. Only you see it's the wrong man, and I can't say he enjoys it. Take your hand off my collar, will you? I'm not the man, I tell you.
All I says is, it's the same swell who's given me the skid to find her. I'll kiss the book on that.
Gervaise coming forward.
Mr. Waterfield, on your honour, do you know this girl?
Come, you ain't going to put me to my catechism.
You must allow appearances are against you.
Damn your appearances! What do I care?
If you will not answer my question, I must beg you to leave the place.
My own desire. Will you oblige me by ordering this bulldog of yours to take his paws off me? What the devil is he keeping me here for?
I've a great mind to give you in charge.
The old codger assaulted me first.
True, but the whole affair would come to light. That's what I would have. Miss Pearson, what am I to do with this man?
Enter Susan at the back door. Behind her, Constance peeps in.
Let him go. Father.
Kisses him.
That can never be Mattie's gentleman, surely. I don't think much of him. I knew he had ugly eyes. I told you so, Mattie. I wouldn't break my heart for him. No, nor for 20 of him I wouldn't. He looks like a drowned cat.
What the devil have you got to do with it?
Nothing. You shut up.
Well, I'm damned if I know whether I'm on my head or my heels.
Tain't no count which.
Bill aside to Colonel Gervaise.
She's at the back door, Mr. William.
Who is, Bill? Miss Lecodere.
Right you are.
Colonel Gervaise hastens to the door. Constance peeps in and draws back. Colonel Gervaise follows her. Waterfield approaches Mattie.
Miss Pearson, if that's...
I don't know you. Don't even know your name.
Waterfield looking round.
You hear her say it? She don't know me.
Could you try and rise, Father? I want to get out of this. There's a lady here says I'm a thief.
Nay, that she cannot say, Mattie. That comes of honest folk. All get up directly.
Attempts to rise.
I cannot.
If I have been unjust to you, Miss Pearson, I shall not fail to make amends.
It's time you did then, ma'am. You've murdered her, and all but murdered me. That's how your little bill stands.
Leave the place, Mr. Waterfield.
You shall answer for this, Gervaise.
Leave the study at once.
Tut, tut. I'll make it up to them. A banknote's a good plaster.
Please, sir, shall I run and fetch a bobby? I like to see a swell wanted.
You hold your tongue.
Retires to the dais and sits down. Mrs. Clifford follows him. Waterfield taking out his pocketbook and approaching Mattie.
I didn't think you'd have served me so, Mattie. Indeed I didn't. It's not kind after what's been between you and me.
Mattie rises and stands staring at him.
You've ruined my prospects. You have, but I don't want to bear malice. Take that. Old times, you know. Take it. You're welcome.
Forces the note on her. She steps back. It drops.
This is a humiliation. Will nobody take him away?
Susan rushing at him.
You be off. And them goggle eyes of yours, or I'll goggle 'em. I can't bear the sight on them. I should never have taken you for a gentleman. You don't look it. You slope, I say.
Hustles him. Waterfield picks up the note and exit. Mattie bursting into tears.
Father, don't hate me. Don't despise me.
Thomas tries to get up but falls back.
Don't be in no hurry, Daddy. There's no more friends here now. Except the old lady. She do look glum.
I'll soon settle her hash.
Susie, don't. There's a dear.
What business has she here then? She's not a doing of nothing.
Don't you see she's looking after the poor gentleman there?
William! Gone again. What a fellow he is. The best servant in the world, but always vanishing. Call your James, will you, aunt? We must have the old man put to bed. But the poor girl looks the worse of the two. She can have the spare room, and William can sleep on the sofa in mine.
I'll see to it.
Exit. Gervaise goes towards Thomas.
Come warm, Mattie. The mother, who's crying her ears out to home.
I'll run for a doctor first, father.
No, Chilt. We're only a bit stunned like. I'll be all right in a small bit. I dunnot want no doctor. I'm coming round.
Neither of you shall stir tonight. Your rooms will be ready in a few minutes.
Thank you, sir. I don't know what I should have done with him. Susan, you won't mind going home without me? You know Miss Lacordaire.
Miss Lacordaire? What do you know of her?
Oh, dear, I oughtn't to have mentioned her, but my poor head.
What of Miss Lacordaire? For God's sake, tell me.
Enter Mrs. Clifford with James.
Oh, nothing, sir. Nothing at all. Only Miss Lacordaire has been good to us, which it's more than can be said for everybody.
Scowls at Mrs. Clifford. James proceeds to lift Thomas. She flies at him.
Put the old gentleman down, you sneaking reptile. How many doors have you been a-hearkening at since morning, putty lump? You touch the old man again and I'll mark you. Here, Bill, I'll take his head, you take his feet. We'll carry him between us like a feather.
Oh, Susan, do hold your tongue.
It's my only weapon, my dear. If I was a man, see if I talk then.
It's a providence you ain't a man, young woman.
Right you are. Them's my very motives. I ain't a-making of no complaint on that score, young Plush. I wouldn't be a man for... no, not even for sich a pair o' calves as yourn.
Susan and Bill carry Thomas out. Mattie follows. Gervaise is going after them.
Don't you go, Arthur. They can manage quite well. I will go if you like.
They know something about Constance.
Pray give yourself no anxiety about her.
What do you mean, Aunt?
I will be responsible for her.
Where is she, then?
Exit Mrs. Clifford.
William! If he doesn't come in 1 minute more, I'll go after her myself. Those girls know where she is. I am as strong as a giant. Oh, God, all but married to that infamous fellow. That he should ever have touched the tip of one of her fingers. What a sunrise of hope. Psyche may yet fold her wings to my prayer. William! William! Where can the fellow be?
Enter Colonel Gervaise in uniform and star, leading Constance. Gervaise hurrying to meet them.
Constance, Constance, forgive me. Oh, my God, you will when you know all.
She knows enough for that already, my boy, or she wouldn't be here. Take her, and me for her sake.
What? Who? Constance, what does it all mean? It must be... Can it be... my father? William! It is William! William, my father! Oh, father, father!
Throwing his arms about him.
It was you all the time, then.
My boy, there. Take Constance and let me go. I did want to do something for you, but there. I'm too much ashamed to look at you in my own person.
Gervaise kneeling.
Father, father, don't talk like that. Oh, father, my father.
Colonel Gervaise raising him.
My boy, I wanted to do something for you, tried hard, and was foiled. I doubly deserved it. I doubted as well as neglected you. But God is good. He has shamed me and saved you.
By your hand, father.
No, by his own. It would all have come out right without me. I was unworthy of the honor, my boy. But I was allowed to try, and for that I am grateful. Arthur, I come to you empty-handed, a beggar for your love.
How dare you say that, father? Empty-handed, bringing me her and yourself, all I ever longed for, my father and my Psyche. Father, thank you. The poor word must do its best. I thank you with my very soul. How shall I bear my happiness? Constance, it was my father all the time. Did you know it? Serving me like a slave, humoring all my whims, watching me night and day, and then bringing me...
Your own little girl, Arthur. But why did you not tell me?
Tell you what, darling?
That you... Oh, you know what, Arthur.
How could I, my child, with that... Shall I tell you now?
No, no. I am too happy to listen, even to you, Arthur. But he should never have. I did find him out at last. If I had but known you did not like him.
Hiding her face. Gervaise embracing his father.
Father, father, I cannot hold my happiness, and it is all your doing.
No, I tell you, my boy, I was but a straw on the tide of things. I will serve you yet, though. I will be your father yet.
Bill aside.
Father ain't all bad coves. Here's two on him. Good sort of old Jacobs, both on him. Shouldn't mind much if I had to follow my own arter all.
Gervaise turns to Constance, then glances at the Psyche. Colonel Gervaise removes the sheet. Gervaise leads Constance to the chair on the dais, turns from her to the Psyche, and begins to work on the clay, glancing from the one to the other. The next moment leaves the Psyche and seats himself on the dais at Constance's feet, looking up in her face. Colonel Gervaise stands regarding them fixedly. Slow, distant music. Bill is stealing away. Curtain falls. End of Act 4. End of If I Had a Father by George MacDonald.